All right, and welcome to Project Dark Take 2. After we tried on Tuesday and I had spilled some drink on my mouse and keyboard, those ended up not working anymore. They've been replaced, so now we're getting together. I am Michael Matthews. Uh, Pronouns are he, him, at ImprovGM on, whoops, at ImprovGM on Twitter or Twitch. And let me fix this real quick. And you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. My name is Will. Pronouns he, him. I am at WM Skyfall on Twitter.
There we go.
And I will be playing Dominique, the Nimble Thief.
Okay, and as always, we discussed last time some lines and veils. X card is always a thing with the Gauntlet games, and we also discussed scene change as another safety tool. So we can kind of do a quick recap from where we got last time. You had talked to your friend Jarrod, who had gotten himself roundly beaten up by going on what he thought would be a really simple job just to get a little bit of extra money from a shop. Turns out that the shop owner's son, who was a mercenary, happened to be crashing on the floor because he was visiting and his room was occupied, and gave him a bit of a thrashing. So the job that he had lined up in about 2 days, unfortunately, he was not going to be able to go on. The upstart lord, Laramus Telburke, who was originally a con man who had married into money, and then after his much older than him wife died, married into an older house that was on the decline, was working with someone to bring in basically a bunch of jewels that he was going to be using to kind of help bribe his way into one of the larger noble houses, because individual families will sort of hop around. And those jewels were going to be at his place while he was at a gala to essentially make the introductions, make himself known, so that then he could pay off someone later. So, which seemed like a good time to rob a place. If you want, we can kind of go back. He's just kind of told you the story. He's looking across from me. He's got like his one leg in a splint, arm in a bit of sling, all a little bit swollen and busted up. He goes, "So, how's that sound? A little bit of kickback for your friend for giving you a job?"
Anything to keep you in salves and ointments, my friend.
uh, this was supposed to be a good one.
City takes what it wants.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to figure out if there's anything else that I want to get out of him before I move on to doing my own own casing.
One thing he had mentioned was he was going to be he was originally planning on doing like the major casing of the place over the next 2 days, but then he got his butt kicked by going into the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have a chance to do much beyond verify what he could that all of this is going on, and then was waiting to actually do the job.
Mm-hmm. This gala that Telburke is Telburke is attending. Do you happen to know how long he'll be there?
Well, Lord Windmere likes likes to have him go often fairly late into the evening, and the thing is he's high enough that no one really leaves before he's ready for the festivities to end. So you end up at the end of it with a lot of fairly old and tired nobility hanging around, wishing desperately that they could leave. One of the things that makes it a fairly good evening to go in is once he's there, he's not leaving until Windmere decides it's time to be done.
And when he comes home, I doubt he'll be in any particularly fresh state to deal with concerns on his property. I'll hope to be gone by then, of course.
Hope it, yeah. If you still happen to be there, my hope is he'd be drunk with, flushed with victory over talking to the person and seeing little images of him becoming an important person in this city somewhere in his head.
You happen to have a line on that diplomat, Hertzberg. Is he staying at the residence, or is he have a place elsewhere?
He's supposed to be coming into town tomorrow. That's the biggest thing I know. He's not the kind of person who would be at one of like Windmere's functions. He generally goes through the back channels, known to servants and such, but doesn't generally like to be, especially know that he's the one uh, outside of those people who deal specifically with diplomats. So he figures he can do better if he can kind of slip in and out of a place. In fact, if I didn't have the right friend, I'd have not known anything about this.
Well, I understand your frustration at not being able to take on this opportunity yourself, but I hope I can make it worth your while.
Oh, at least someone should get it. I'll be glad it's you.
All right. So I imagine that.
Oh, it's actually it's back over here.
I imagine that we talk shop on unrelated topics for a while.
Yeah, scores, other stuff, other things in the jackdaws in general. Who's just fallen into like even uh, Eleanor Gloria Arborum, the Arborum, the queen, doesn't seem to be cracking down on the jackdaws as much as the previous king had. She's fairly well loved by the people. Not necessarily liked as much by the nobility, which is the trade-off.
She's something of an upstart herself.
Yep. A lot of that kind of Queen Elizabeth thing where it's like, well, we'll get her married off and everything will be fine. But she's just not marrying anybody. She's not giving up power.
But soon. All right. So unless there's is there anything else that we should be covering here, or should we step ahead to casing?
Yeah, we could probably step ahead to the casing. So you'd have like basically 2 days, like two casing phases, to kind of go, okay, with these, basically telling me like what skill you're using, what kind of stuff you're looking for, and then I'll let you know. Here's the things that you find out.
Okay. Now, culture is probably my strongest skill. That's basically social understanding of social mores.
Yeah, I think it will also be. Let me just pull up the skills real quick. Yeah, knowledge of humanities, customs, languages, protocol. It'll also know if he's got like various like trinkets from either other cultures or things that you know are worth a lot to some of the right people. It's more about humanities. Like there's certain types of not necessarily fine art, but other things that might be useful in theirs that you might know.
All right. So I'm not sure if this is politics or fellowship, but I want to see if I can get a read on what to expect. Probably, I want to see if I can get a read on what to expect from Hertzberg. If he's going to be present, if he's going to have much in the way of bodyguards, if he himself is an accomplished foe.
Okay. Yeah, politics are what you're going to be doing, and it could be through fellowship. In what ways do you go about trying to like get down information about him?
Probably dropping some coin, buying some people some drinks. I want to find out more rumors about how he's operating. This is probably more social than academic, because I'm basically trying to get a sense of what circles he's moving in and what his general MO is when he's operating in the city.
Okay. You know a few people
gossip.
Yeah, you know a few people to talk to, because one thing is like the best diplomats often know the local thieves will have a much better idea of things that are going on in the city that other people want to keep kind of on the down low. So there's a few people you know who have done some work some spy work essentially along those lines, paying like a little bit of money, a little bit of the drink. You have one guy who Stavros, who had worked with Ingo. His Ingo, yeah, I worked with him. What do you want to know about him?
Well, how uptight is he? I mean,
He's that's the weird thing. You get him into a manor house. You get him into the stuff where he's around the nobilities, these people who are better than him, these people who look down on him. For the most part, he's very confident. Outside of that, though, he can get really nervous. He's got a bodyguard, Bruno, who like big dude, mercenary. This guy's seen a bunch of campaigns and stuff. That's pretty much always at his side. The thing is, he likes to make as little splash as possible when he goes into a place. You might have like the actual quote unquote diplomat show up, and they come with a whole bunch of people and the gifts and all that kind of stuff. Ingo is like the one that likes to come in like he's just another couple people, maybe a small merchant heading in. He doesn't like to come in like he's a big honking deal because he's the guy that does the talk sort of under the table. So
so
Ingo
no,
stuff,
so he keeps his staff low. You're saying?
yeah. I mean, he'll bring some mercenaries, like I said, it's like often like a merchant coming into a place. He may hire some local thieves. I ain't heard anything about that um, in the current. So either I'm on the outs, which I'd be unaware of, or no, I don't know. But he does. He keeps. He's nervous, so he keeps people around him. But as I said, not much different than your standard merchant who thinks that we're paying more attention to him than he is. Because half the time you have people who, half those merchants got stuff that we can't just steal out of a cart and take someplace, and we have to have some time to go around it. So, you know how it is.
Sure. So I should. So in general he carries himself like a merchant, and up close without Bruno. What's Bruno been Bruno back from the wars, or
Yeah,
is that a name I should be wary of?
it's he was Bruno. I mean, Bruno knows what he's doing. He's a I said mercenary. He's been in a lot of wars and such. Probably making a whole lot more money now, and probably a much easier job. But listen, you got a job like that, you keep it. I mean, he's traveling a lot. If the guy's got no family, as far as I can tell, at least if he's got a wife and kids, he doesn't like them much. Um, but he stays with this guy, makes a good deal of money, gets to live uh, kind of the high life. I mean, he's not in a noble suite all the time, but merchants like to have nice places, and Ingo keeps him around.
So when you were working with Ingo, was there anything that struck you as sort of odd or uncanny or quirky about him?
He sometimes liked to. One of the times I worked with him is he wanted to go and talk to a few people kind of on the down low, so that I mean, we're not talking lords and stuff. I'm talking like some crime bosses. He wanted to go and talk to some people that he didn't want anybody to know who he was talking to. Like he was hired by, you know, some Baron Duke something to come in and do this talk and make sure stuff is going on, but he's checking with the underworld people on the way there. So he needed some people who were local who could vouch for him and bring him places, get him out. And Bruno went with us on those too. Just looked like, a tough.
How protected is he in terms of his underworld connections? Like, if I mess with Ingo, am I going to be getting heat from the locals?
His big thing is as far as I can tell, he comes in, he doesn't make friends. He makes limited partnerships. Some people he may use again and again, but he's the kind of guy that if you're not going to be useful to him the next time he comes through, and let's be honest, in our profession, the higher ups they change a not uncommon amount of the time. If you're not the guy to talk to, he doesn't care.
Ground folk change too. It's a rough business.
Yeah, but nobody cares if we change. Just if the person in charge changes. Yeah, not a bad guy, all said, but All about the deal.
Well, at least he makes for an interesting character. I'll have to look him up next time he's in town.
Yeah, if you can get a job, it was. I mean, he paid pretty good just to introduce him to people that we already know, and he's paying that person money too. So like, they're not like trying to hide from him. It's pretty easy coin. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to spread it out a little bit when he comes back. Like, get new people to take him. So I don't know who had him before me, but
Okay. So I keep Stavros in drinks and see if I can sprinkle some other discussions into the conversation, so it's not just all Ingo all the time, or all Ingo all the time. But
yeah. And at one point he goes, "Yeah, here's the thing too. Like, 'cause I talked to someone else who'd worked with this guy. Um, we had very different things. Like for me, um, he was set up at this place, uh, in the room. You just went straight there, talked to the innkeeper, went there, no problem. A friend of mine, like he apparently had something big, whichever he was for one time, uh, wasn't in the room he was supposed to be in. There were other people there that gave all this like cloak and dagger bullshit. So, kind of, so the more important he is, the more kind of like layers he puts between uh, himself and where you might expect him to be.
so if he's feeling extra nervous, then he may throw extra layers into the deal.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else. If there's anything else I want to check in about his character. Um, I think that covers the. I think that covers the check on Ingo.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it takes you some time figuring that out. And for your second casing phase,
Um, I want to use my. I want to use my education in history to learn more about the manor and more about the residents in the neighborhood that Telburke has ensconced himself in. What I can learn about the house, about how the house is like how the house is integrated with the neighborhood. Anything that I should be aware of on that front.
okay. Oh, let me do this. Um, how many dots do you have in history?
I have one dot.
Okay. Um, so let me do this. So, as you're looking through, a couple places to sort of look into it. Like the thing is, a lot of these homes have like little manor houses have kind of a hell of a history, and if you kind of know the right places to look, um, so it and this is one of the problems anytime you hear this particular claim because this claim happens a lot, but it seems like there actually is maybe a little something to it because there's some stories about weird things happening in the place. The Telburke Manor has had a whole bunch of names through its time. You kind of go through to these old ones, but according to the oldest ones, there were stories and apparently some arrest records from quite a ways back that there was traffic with the Fae happening in that
Mm.
area, and that it had been in a place where there had maybe been a fairy circle at one point in the back, and so you do find like some arrest records and such. If you look in the handout section, you will see the floor plans, which originally I was going to about to open up and then realized, oh, I had already had those set up.
That's first floor, second floor, basement.
Yep. So these are the floor plans for it that you managed to find.
It says Mansion 001, ground level 1.
Um, it should be those are the only three that are in there.
Okay. What's the grounds look like around this place?
Um,
Neighboring buildings.
yeah, so the neighbor it has a little bit of space around, not a ton. It's not one of like the palatial manor estates that there are in other places. There is a decent sized kind of yard in the back, um, but it's on a street. Uh, it's on a street. The yard kind of abuts to a canal, which is honestly a lot of times they're paying for the canal thing. So one, it means you don't have as many people heading up the back route. Um, yeah, and it's got a bit of a. The grounds themselves are not huge. There's nothing, as far as at least from the floor plans that you got. There's no buildings or maze stuff behind it. It's just the one building.
And there were arrest records of people consorting with the Fae or
Yeah,
being
this is
accused of consorting with the Fae.
about 400 years ago.
Okay.
This is a long time because like basically the Fae, as far as anyone's concerned, no one knows whether they actually existed or if they were just legends. But like the very common thing was everyone knows, and you ask everyone who's at all religious or superstitious in this area, um, actually in the world itself, that Fae were real, but no one knows entirely sure what happens, but the Fae have moved on.
Hmm.
And there are some ruins that are highly unusual, like kind of on the far right side of the map that are supposed to be Fey ruins. They don't kind of share anything with the architecture um, or the way things have been done in the city itself. But here, you do have at least 400 years ago, there were arrest records that said that dealing with the Fae. There were strange sounds heard at night. Apparently, at this point, there had been something um, before the two houses next to it, the two manors next to it had been built. So that was all part of a larger grounds at the time. But strange voices, shadowy figures, magic, and magic does exist. Everyone knows magic exists. It's just not
Hmm.
because thieves who use it.
Not exactly my wheelhouse,
Yeah.
but this is sounding less like an opportunity and more like a potential threat. How what do the grounds look like? Are we talking gardens, hedges, woods?
There you can kind of take a walk through it. You can kind of look. It's a decent sized backyard, and you can see that there is like some lounging yard furniture like set around there. There's like an umbrella and such that servants can take down, but there's not like any permanent structures in the back of it. There is a small dock on the back that goes into where like, the gondolas and such can come through, which will mean you'll have occasional guards just covering the backyard. But
Hmm.
the things for that is that's an easy way for them to get like shipments of stuff that might be difficult to take through the streets can a little more easily be sent through the rivers and through the canals.
What's the fence look like around the yard?
It's got one of those walls that look nice, but the good thing from a thief's point of view, they look nice, but they're not incredibly hard to climb. Your average like kid or passerby who doesn't really know what they're doing is not going to probably go over without a little bit of effort. But if you know what you're doing, it's not hard to find like one of the places where you've got like where it kind of sticks out. Where you've got like the I don't want to call them foundations because that's what it is, but it's just those the little poles in between the different parts of walls. They're not poles, but they're the bigger pieces of brick that kind of it anchors it.
Mm-hmm.
Using those to kind of climb up it and over is not terribly difficult if you know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing.
Okay. I may keep an eye on that service entrance for the gondola and see if there's a sense of when the guards are patrolling that area.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that would be more or less fraught than trying to go in over the wall at any particular point or in the front door.
You do the because there's the kind of the gondola and such out back. A guard will occasionally go down there and check it out. The
Mm-hmm.
nice thing is, guards have a tendency to prefer to be um, in the light if at all possible. I mean, basically, guards tend towards laziness unless there's a specific reason not to be. If they've got no one's around right now, like they'll go through and they'll check, but they do have a point where they're like they don't necessarily want to be either risking themselves, hang out in the dark all night bored. Often if two guards find a place to talk, they will. Um, so yeah, so in this case, you'll probably have someone going off to check on occasion, but it's going to be dark enough there that it's probably not a bad place to go in. It also would not be hard to get in from the streets, like over the
Okay,
walls.
so I couldn't necessarily moor a boat up on the dock without it getting discovered,
Yeah,
but
unless you're someone who's good at taking out a guard who happens to be back there. Like if you're someone who's good at knocking people unconscious, then that might not be a bad way to do it. Um,
how how terrible of an idea is it to swim the Saturnine?
Not a terrible idea, but then the problem is you come out wet and dripping.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Yeah, probably if it's just me coming in off the street or coming up over the wall from the neighboring building is probably the best plan.
Okay.
If I have to flee via the river, that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. But now on the floor plans here, I'm seeing the gray area. Is that a balcony on the second floor, or is that just a patio that is a patio with windows overlooking it?
Yeah, it's essentially that's the stuff that's on the first floor. It's just overlooking. Like you've got windows that look out, but that is the patio on the back part of it.
Gotcha. Looks like there's a servants. Looks like there are servants' doors into the kitchen. Um, and then looks like there's a door on each. Looks like there are a couple of side doors into side corridors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Are those well, I guess they're not. This place doesn't seem large enough to have a massive servants area.
No, you're looking at it. There's going to be a couple servants. There's chances are most of the servants come and go. You'll have the other thing you know from the thing is it's basically there's no children in this one. You've got Lormus Telburke, you've got Daramus, his wife, Telburke, and those are the only two people who live there permanently who are not servants. So you'll have some of those rooms could be servants' rooms who live there. Other servants will come and go, which is not unusual in the city.
Okay. I think I'm I'm gonna source some clothes that look like they'd make for good servant clothes, and just keep them in my bag in case I need to try and blend in.
Okay. Not hard to do. Oh, let me make sure I got these correct. Oh, damn it. It does not save the token settings. Thankfully, I went through and fought with this system to make. There we go. Okay. I believe that should do well. Okay, and you're coming in over the back.
I think so. Just a wall over the wall into the backyard.
Okay. What I'm going to do a bit, like you'll see your. So I think right now you can probably see a little bit into the house itself.
Yep.
So you head up over, and can I refill my drink real quick? You okay if I refill my drink real quick?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me go here.
I neglected to ask. Neglected to ask orientation. I've been assuming that what was the front is actually the back. 001 with the gray patio and the double doors. Is that the front of the house or is that the back?
Back of the house.
Okay.
Like the two front doors by the staircase, those lead out to. Yeah, and some of those are actually will have kind of walls around them. Yeah, we won't have that patio. Actually, one that you can come in through the back. Yeah, so outside of those, the two doors flanking B, the ones like where the kitchens are, like we'll say the kind of the wall comes from there and then heads across. So they're places that they can get in, but it's a little more over where that kitchen is, at least.
Gotcha.
So in this case, if you want to take into your hand, you can pull, like it'll be dark in the back. You can pull up to 6, and if you wanted to put some in disguise, you could start to put some in now.
All right. So I should draw 6. Mm-hmm. Have you shuffled that deck recently? Because I know at one point I pulled it out to look at it.
Shuffle. Yep, just did.
All right. So I draw 6 cards. Mm-hmm. Whoops. Oh, good. Yeah, I can click on them for more. Interesting. And let me pull up my character sheet so I know what the face cards are doing. All right, so I'd like to sidle. East along the wall, get a glimpse into the sitting room.
Okay. And that's one where you can actually move it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry, I was multitasking. Huh. Okay. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to sidle over here to
and you start to hear. Oh, is it not working? I grabbed some of the sounds from Thief. Um,
Excellent.
you're hearing that from over in this direction.
Gotcha.
And kind of a. That's what if you want to take your thing and peek around the corner. If you like, we're not going to assume you're like, hey, just walking straight through. That's you. Like,
Sure. Yeah, I'll see if I can lean a little bit and see what we're dealing with.
yep. You kind of look over, and you can even move yourself a little further out, like there.
All right.
Yeah. There's a guard who right now he's sitting there. He's got like both hands on the wall itself, and he's just like, motherfucking, damn it, and, like literally takes off his helmet for a moment and just. Don't go all in. Don't go all in. Don't go. You told yourself you wouldn't go all in. Damn it. And
All right. So it sounds like he's a little bit distracted right now.
yep. And he starts to kind of walk down. Whoops. Let me get rid of it. See, I put those things for for facing, and then realized one, they move too easily. They're too small to see. He starts kind of heading down this way.
Okay.
He is distracted. You got plenty of time. You know he's sort of coming. Do you want to? Are you kind of? If you want to go into corners or something back here, it's easy to have a 6. Like if you're like in front of a window, it would go down to like a 4. But like there's still enough darkness back here that if you want it to be 6, you can still have 6 in your hand.
Yeah. Okay. And that means that if he rolls a straight 6, then he becomes alerted, but he does not spot me.
Basically,
If,
yeah. He might.
if I wanted to trust it to a die roll, I'd be seeing if he rolls a 6.
Yeah.
And if he rolls a 6, then he goes on alert.
Yep. And that's more like the. What was that?
Okay, I think I'm just going to back off a little bit, and I'm going to back off into the shadows a little bit and see where he's patrolling. See if he wanders around to the back.
Okay. Is roll 20 being a little slow tonight? I hit rolling dice. Yep, not at all. So he goes, and you're sort of in the shadows. Kind of goes sort of straight past you, and then he walks. At this point, he kind of heads out into the yard. So I've got him like probably half in shadows for you.
Okay.
He kind of walks out into the back of the yard, and heads back towards the canal. And you've seen the look of a man who's going to piss off into the canal. He's kind of walking out there like he's going to be pissing into the canal.
Okay. Do I get the sense that he's drunk?
He's maybe at least had some. He's talking to himself. He's not swaying or anything, but he is a little loose, and also just kind of cussing under his breath as he goes through.
Gotcha. When I was wandering around, when I was peeking in at 003, did I see anything interesting in there?
Yeah, and then now also, if you just want to take a look at some stuff, you can, because you've got the thing of that. So 003, yeah, it's a parlor. As you're looking in, what do you have? Do you have art or politics?
I have politics.
So something that you had thought was probably not out of the realm of possibility for a man like him, but the parlor itself, you can see a bunch of books kind of stacked up, and a few of the ones that you're looking at that you can kind of see through it. A lot of things like expensive ones on genealogies, expensive ones on history of the various houses. What you have here is actually like really expensive books that someone who wants to ingratiate themselves with the current upper class buys or has made. So like what's in there is gonna be worth some.
Okay. What's this window look like?
Oh, this is where a third monitor would be great. The one right there.
Yeah.
Kind of the standard windows that should be locked, but since it's there are the walls around it and that back patio are often not.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna glance up at the window above me on the second floor.
Okay.
Looks like that's a bedroom.
Yeah, let me. So yeah, the window that's above you on the second floor is dark.
Okay. How the wall up to there? How easy would it be to sort of grapple my way up to that window?
Not huge.
Handholds on the stone, parkour stuff.
Not huge. Not hugely easy, but it may not be impossible. What's your uh? Oh yeah, skill wise, take a look at those.
2 dots in traverse.
Oh, 2 dots in traverse.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's something you might be able to do. It might take a little bit of work. So
Okay.
if you want to play at it, you're looking at so card action overview for cards. So yeah, we'll say probably a difficulty of the difficulty would be about 5, and the other factor as far as like the wall itself, we'll give it a 3. So you'd have like about an 8 total to climb your way up.
Okay. Um, I assume it's not going to be too much different for the window, the second floor window, above the door, the one in the middle of the wall
So the
that
one
goes to the corridor.
correct.
Okay. All right. Well,
You have
this is
you have
a
a little bit like not a lot of light coming out of there, but it looks like there might be just a general like maybe a chandelier light that's not particularly well lit at the moment.
but
But
the bedroom is dark.
yeah,
Okay. All right. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot.
okay. So that is a total of 8.
Okay.
So what you're gonna want to do, and if you want to play it like just out into the right hand part, maybe up above where these are, um, go ahead and play from your hand. And part of it, the more you play, like if you play 6, you're making a lot of racket.
Mm-hmm.
If you play 1, you're like, I don't know if you saw that thing about the girl who climbed her house and climbed the wall and went through like it's like the floor is lava champion.
Mm-hmm.
So like the more cards you play, the more noise you make. The less you play, the more like.
Okay. Um, so what suits are we dealing with?
Okay, so on this one, I think you are looking at this one. I need to remember to have a thing permanently out that kind of reminds me of the suits. Let me bring up your character sheets. Okay, so I think finesse, spades is definitely going to be one of them, just to hit all the right handholds on the way up.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that clubs are also suited because it's going to involve a certain amount of upper body strength.
Truth.
All right. Can I slow play this?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to drop 2 cards.
Okay.
I don't know where they went.
Oh, right there. So you have 6.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah, so I'm gonna try and catch my breath at that point.
Yeah, and you kind of look out, and he's just sitting there like out by the thing that's sort of like eyes closed, rocking while he's peeing into the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't quite turned around yet.
All right, so I'll drop back up to 6. What's my stealth level halfway up this wall?
It's fairly dark up there, and there's a moon though. So here we'll say 5.
Okay, so I draw up to 5. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I will play my Queen of Spades, which is Queen of Clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clubs?
Yeah.
Queen of Clubs, which is another 5. So I'm at 11, I believe.
Okay.
And no face down card. Actually, what are my face down options? Obviously, there's suspicion on the play.
It could just be to be more quiet. Like if you throw some face down, it could just make it so that it's less suspicious. So the people who are up there, because right now you have 3 kind of like a suspicion of 3 on your way up, which will be kind of noise of opening up the window, of going in. It could also be the other guard kind of seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, technically, you're not there. Sorry, I put you in the wrong spot.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like up on the wall, I
No,
think.
you are here. If you scroll down, you're on second floor.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah.
I put you in the first floor.
So I made it through the window without any problems.
Yeah, so it's a suspicion of 3, which so if you want to put some down to lower the now suspicion of 3 is not a ton.
I'm gonna drop a card. I'm drop 1 card to reduce the suspicion to 2.
Okay, so yeah, you do that. So it's fairly quiet. I mean, you would have to have like someone who's pretty alert, because one of the things you'll be aware of, your standard guard has NPCs. Yeah, your standard guard has like a composure, which is like the suspicion of 4. Now, if you got a dog in the area, a dog with a 2 will start to like get up and come to check it out. Or like really specific, like really like fiddly people or something might get it, but like your standard guard has a 4. Before that becomes too much of a problem just for like little things missing. Servants actually tend to have a little bit higher of a suspicion just because they know the place. They kind of know how, like what's supposed to be where, what it kind of sounds like. Okay, so the room that you are in. Let me hit the second floor.
Ooh, and I wanted to double check.
Yep.
If I run my draw pile out, I reshuffle it, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
So here's stealth level 6 as you go in.
Okay.
So you are in a bedroom. It is. Let me just pop this up. Yeah, so the bedroom that you are in is looks to have maybe at one point been used sort of servants' quarters, but this also is also said to be like a guest room for people who might be coming in and visiting. Often people who are going to have a little bit more money, which is nice.
Does it look like it's been? Does it look like you said it's not currently in use?
Yeah, correct. There's currently nobody using it.
Okay. I might glance through drawers and see if there's anything left over.
Okay, so here, so we can take these. We hit delete. These go into your discard.
Okay.
And if you ever need to check your discard, you can literally go click on the discard, and a little window will pop up for you that shows here's what you've deleted.
Okay.
And occasionally, I think there's some skills that let you actually like take stuff from your discard. So yeah, if you want to do a little bit of thievery right now, I will say if you have, what's in your culture? Like some of the stuff that's in here is designed to impress visiting nobles.
I believe I have. Where are you? I believe I have 2 dots in. I have 2 dots: experience and acclaim in culture.
Yep. So if what you want to do, if you want to put play however many cards you want, though however many cards you play will determine how many slots it takes up in your pack.
And then the total value of the cards affects the multiplier.
Yep.
Or the total value of the cards then goes into the multiplier for.
Yeah, to see how much you make.
Okay.
As I said, I've got to make a couple changes there because as I use the older version. But let me pull that snip tool again.
Okay. I will put down. That was not the correct card to put down. I'll take the. Is there a quick? Yeah, take card. Okay. All right. I will play. I will play 6 points across 2 cards.
Okay. So we'll say here, as you're kind of going through, there are some dolls that you find that are these extremely well made. That you can kind of grab a couple, like some of the clothing and such out of there and wrap it around it, like some of the bedding to make sure that they're okay. So you have 6 points. That's going to be make that times 20, so that'll be. Yeah, 6 times, so 120.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make a note, you've pulled 120, and it takes up 2 slots.
Okay.
And let me do one more.
So dolls wrapped in bedding. Now, X20 is kind of middling, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, and the thing is, some of this I have to kind of go off of, like, is a difference. Like the example they have here, that looks like the more real example than the one they've got, which is pretty low. Like gallery, max loot 900, art is times 25, craft is times 20, culture times 20, politics times 10. So actually, 20 to 25 is probably going to be. So I'd imagine a gallery for art. 25 sounds like it's pretty good
Okay.
on those. So it looks like 20 to 25 is sort of your standard.
And if I wanted to keep rating this spot until I hit max loot, I could see what I could do.
Yeah. Because, yeah, times 25. If you had 10 times 25, 250.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and every 1,000 becomes a check,
Nice.
essentially. Yeah, so, like, as far as experience, every 1,000 turns into one experience, which you can use to buy a check on one of your stuff.
Okay. Now, if I laid down some cards, say if I laid down 500 points in cards, and there was only 200 left in the room, would would that 500 be dropped to 200 across however many cards I played?
What we would probably do is go, okay, how many of the cards actually fill up that much? Because it's not like, yeah, I pulled down a gigantic painting from the wall as opposed to, like, you take the small thing, like that actual thing you could fit it into X amount. But I think it'll also be probably stop you from playing at a certain point. We'll say maybe take the other ones into your hand, so it doesn't become just, oh, I'm going to throw everything down. What can I take?
I guess would I discard the extra?
I think what I would probably say is, and this is one because this is one thing that doesn't say here. I think I would say you pull them back into your hand,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise it just becomes you could just throw all the cards you maybe don't want. It could just become a dumping ground for cards that essentially disappear having done nothing.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
That's my guess at least. So from going off, like it makes sense and it keeps it from being just because like the dump of like, oh, I'm gonna grab this little thing here because maybe I might dump it somewhere else later on, which could also be like, how did this get here? Which could be an interesting little thing. So if a guard's kind of coming through and suddenly that doll, you're like, oh shoot, I'm not gonna take these dolls. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm gonna grab this other thing instead. And suddenly, like someone comes into like the kitchen and one of those dolls is kind of hanging out. They might notice if there was enough cards for it. Going, wait a minute, what's this doing here?
Gotcha. Okay. So I'll make a note of this place that there might be more stuff I can grab here when I come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going. Oh, and with the two.
I
That
just
you
mo-
said
I just moved the door so you can move through it.
Sure. So that was times 20 and I had 6 points,
Mm-hmm.
but I have 2 points in culture.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, that should be 240.
Okay.
That was
All right. So it's 20 times 2 times 6. Got
yeah.
it. All right. Um, do I get the impression that there's probably do I is it legitimate for me to ask how close I am to the max of the room, or
We'll say, you know what, 240?
yeah.
Um, about 400 max.
Okay, so there might be some more stuff I could. I don't want to get too I don't want to get too greedy here. I'll see what else I've got in the house. So I draw back up to 6,
Mm-hmm.
and I will delete these 2 cards. Okay, I wanna peek my head out I want to just crack the door on the north wall slowly and peek out into the hallway.
Okay. If you can just move yourself into the hallway, and we'll
Oh,
say that like, oh, that thing you're probably going to see or may see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, you won't. Let me actually do this real quick. I'm going to delete that.
Okay.
That probably opens. So, can you move yourself? Oh,
There we go. Okay.
okay. Make you a little bit smaller so you actually fit the size. There you
Legit.
go. Yeah. So, like, as you kind of pop out, you see that there's a guard who's just sort of boredly hanging out. He's actually just like just sort of like pacing a little bit in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
Seemingly a bit bored. So while you're up here, you will like right now you don't have to make like the sneaking stuff if you're trying to sneak through, but when you actually do move, you'll need to. So the hallway up, I was just no, the hallway is up here because there is the chandeliers are not fully lit, but there's a little bit of light there. It's a stealth level in there, and there is a guard kind of walking by.
Okay. Do I see any light? Do I see any light under the door into the north door into the larger bedroom?
No, but I will say like there's no light there, but you actually do hear some snoring
Oh,
coming
that'll
from
be.
that. Like there's a moment like you sit there and it's very very quiet, and you're like, is there anything in there? Oh, it's taking on the load. Yeah, there's you hear some snoring coming from that room.
Okay. Oh, that could be trouble. Um. All right. Fortune favors the foolish. Um, I'm going to wait until the guard's back is turned and
Mm-hmm.
see if I can. So it's you said it was stealth level 4 in this hallway.
Yep.
Okay.
So if what you can do is kind of put two cards like say face down, maybe over like somewhere over here,
Mm-hmm.
so that you know these are the first two you pull back in your hand. You can also put those down, or even if you want to leave them out like face up, you can put those down in any order.
Mm-hmm.
Or are you putting someone in disguise first?
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah,
This might
you're the
be.
possibility. You could go. I'm going to disguise. You put your servant disguise on.
Mm-hmm. Double checking my face cards here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. All right, so I will drop down to those four cards.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can make my way across this hallway and into the master bedroom without dis I'm gonna wait till the guard has his back turned, and then I'm gonna start to sort of try and cross this space
Okay.
and get into the master bedroom without waking up
So
the person inside.
basically in over here.
I'm across the north door. I'm trying to get into here.
Oh, in here. Yeah, that won't be hard. Yeah. So this guard kind of like moves, look towards the window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to go ahead and make your sneaking action.
Okay.
So basically that'll be if the person is there sleeping, that usually means they have one. Their alertness is one. The rest of it will depend on their. Generally speaking, their kind of guile, which for most people, like a regular person, is about a 2.
Okay. So I'm not worrying about this guard then. I'm mostly worrying about the
The guard's
so
far.
I'm not challenged by the guard. I'm challenged by whoever's in that room.
I would say the guard that guard is kind of far enough away that it's not hard for you to kind of see when he's looking to sneak across. The maybe more worry is the person in the room itself. What I'll do is
Okay.
I'll add a +1 to the difficulty for the guard. So chances are for most people, you'd have a 3 with a +1 for the guard, so about a 4.
Okay. Okay. Works for me. So what are the suits?
I believe the suits here should be. Let's go with. Well, why is it? Oh, um, I'll go with diamonds for Guile for making sure that he's kind of looking the other way and kind of trying to poke your way in.
Okay.
Or no, no wait, let me take it back. Spades for finesse.
Okay. Um. So I think I need to double check the difference between hearts and diamonds here. Hearts is overt social and diamonds is covert social.
Well, yeah, in certain respects, hearts might be the I'm just going to open the door and pop in and try to do that like quickly enough, like like the metal that idea of I'm just going to go like with enough confidence that nobody's going to notice.
Mm-hmm.
And guile might be that I'm going to wait like while a snore happens and then turn and open. So
Okay.
that
Observation and timing. Got it. Yeah, I'll use diamonds as the second.
okay, and yeah, for me, I'm going. If I choose diamonds, you don't have anything checked in diamonds, so I'm like, I'll put it on something you already have in case you happen to have hearts. So yeah, you're looking
Okay.
at probably a 4 unless there's either a dog in the room or if there is someone who's abnormally alert.
Woof. How how if I play a quick card, can I then contribute that card to the action?
Well, the quick card, yeah, the quick card means you play a card, then you immediately
Hmm.
pull another one.
Okay, so I will drop my King of Spades.
Okay, how much is that worth?
Five.
Okay,
Whoa, six actually.
are you using the special ability for it?
Double checking. No, I don't have anything worth six. It's worth five. Um, can I see the replacement card before I decide if I'm using the special ability?
You don't need to see it because it literally is the one that you placed. Well, I would say take it, take the
Oh,
replacement
right,
card, and
right.
then
It's going to be the
choose.
top of. Right, it's going to be the top deck.
No, not the top of the deck, top of the one. Yeah, the top of the one you put down.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because I immediately take that. That is that is deeply overkill. Um,
What is the King of Spades? Was that spades you put down?
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
make other
five.
cards spades by indicating them. See, with that 5 is probably enough.
I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna cross my fingers and I'm gonna cross my fingers and keep it at five.
All right, yeah. And you kind of like. So you said you were doing that with Guile, or are you doing that with Hearts?
I was doing it with guile,
Okay,
but
yeah. So you wait.
spades. It's finesse. It's straight finesse.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So you're waiting for that moment. Yeah, you just like, you just slip in. Have you ever slept in a bed where you're like you don't want to disturb the covers you're sleeping in?
like somebody's sleeping on top of the covers.
Yeah. There is a guard who probably should be out doing shit who has gone in and is lying on top of the covers. As a matter of fact, the covers that are like up over the pillow are still up over the pillow. They've been
Mm-hmm.
disturbed a bit by him on them. But if like he hears a noise, he's going to be able to pop up and then straighten things up really quickly and look like he hasn't been sleeping on the job.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so as you go in, by the way, someone showed me you can. I don't know if you know what an Elgato Stream Deck is.
Not familiar.
Oh, it's a little thing that lets you like choose, especially with like OBS or something, lets you choose like oh, I don't know, this scene or this scene. You can just hit a button on it to make things happen. But someone showed me you can also do it with Roll 20, so I can just go. I click a button here, and it goes between dynamic layer and then the token layer, which is great.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so as you come in, there's just a guard, and his helmet is on the floor. He's still wearing like the leather jerkin. His sword is kind of like on a little thing next to the bed, and he is just conked out on top of the covers in this room.
Okay. So I'm gonna gingerly examine this room.
Okay.
His presence is what's the stealth level in here?
So here, let me give me just a second. So what I want to do, I'm printing out something real quick. I just want to print on my NBC page so I have that at hand, as
Sure.
opposed to just the current sheet. Okay. It'll open as a PDF. That's nice. Yeah, because I realize I'm flipping back and forth through things that if I had printed out, the only problem is I have I think pink cardstock from school is all I have right now. That's room 10.
Room. Wow. Where's my yes, room 10.
Room 10. Yeah, it's a 5.
Okay.
Like there's a little bit of moonlight coming through, but beyond that, the biggest thing you have to do here is not have too many cards to raise his suspicion, and his suspicion isn't as great because he's asleep right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
There we go. Oh, god damn it. At some point, had to print stuff out smaller, so it's sometimes, for some reason, the default, I did something wrong, prints it out. I don't know if you can see how little.
Oh,
This
yeah.
This is not very useful.
Quite.
I keep forgetting that. This will print out the correct size. Okay, that's what I needed.
So aside the guard asleep in here, what's notable in this room?
So this room, you're pretty sure is a servant's room. Like there's some stuff that's gonna be worth, but not a whole lot.
Okay. So this feels kind of a bust. I'm gonna see if I can let my eyes adjust to the light a little bit and see if the guard is carrying keys or anything like that.
Yeah, you kind of look over the guard like this. Considering the size of this manor, which is not particularly huge, there's no reason for the guards who are not basically in charge to have keys. This is not one of them. There's not like a specific ring of keys you can see on them or anything.
Okay. So I'm going to get back into. I'm going to extricate myself from this less than ideal situation, and I'm going to head back into the. I'm going to head back into the main landing, the balcony area.
Yep.
And I want to put myself. My goal. I'm just going to move myself. My goal is to put myself about.
Are you able to go through the door, or is that something I've got to do?
No, I can go through the door.
There you go.
I want to put myself. See if I can get myself around to about.
If you just want to drop yourself where you want to be, because don't then we'll make the stuff and see.
Yeah, let's see if I can get myself to about here.
Okay.
Do I need to stealth to get out of room 10? Because I've got the guard's line of sight is going to be crossing that space.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that stuff together.
Okay.
So in this case, as you're back in there, you're down to a 4. Once again in the halls.
Okay.
And I'm gonna actually just make a note here so I can see 4. 5. Yeah. So as you kind of pop out into there, so there's a 4. So you should have up to 4 in your hand. So what you want to do is you want to play. Some of the cards show that you're sneaking as this guy is sort of moving around.
Okay. Now I just threw a card into the void. I don't know where it went.
Oh, got it. Your ace.
Yep.
Right there.
Thank you. Okay. I don't know if it's a great idea. How do you feel about me putting my disguise together in the room with the sleeping guard?
I think that's hilarious.
Okay.
I can just see you. The thing is, I will say it's one of those things you just kind of quietly kind of put it on. So if you want to throw some onto your disguise now, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm going to. And do I want to make the disguise? Because right now that's a disguise level of 2. That's not a very good
Yeah.
disguise.
Well, until large, yeah. So yeah. So if he comes up and starts talking, he's gonna be like, "Wait a minute, this seems."
Okay, so I'm actually gonna dump nearly everything I've got out here.
And at any point, you can kind of pull those in and use those cards. So the nice thing
Okay.
is, you're now limited. But then again, the place you're at only has a 4 anyway. So why not?
Yeah. Okay. So does that mean that when I'm drawing cards, when I'm drawing cards to bring myself back up to stealth level, they can? Does it mean I can play out of my disguise?
Yeah, you can play cards out of your disguise.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's better. Cool. 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 All right. So, I need to get out of the room with the sleeping guy and back into the main balcony without getting caught by the patrolling guard.
Yep.
And I don't think I want to trust this to a die roll. So, are we talking about an equivalent difficulty?
So yeah, as you come out, he himself is not on like full alert. As you come out, so you're gonna have his sort of yeah, his standard sort of as far as paying attention. Um, Vigilance usually about a 3
Mm-hmm.
plus um, plus his particular alertness. And oh, let me not do that. Let's pop that out. I need the alertness. Yeah. So for him, kind of he's in a place. He's upstairs. He's not. If he's expecting anybody to come through, the downstairs people are supposed to get him first. So he himself is perhaps a little distracted. You just kind of hear him like, and he's kind of stopping and listening a little bit at the doors as he goes through. So you're guessing a little distracted, which is usually about a 3.
Okay. So that's probably difficulty 6. Then there's the concern of this guy. There's the sleeping guy I don't want to distract as I
Yeah.
leave the room.
Yeah, we'll say we're not going to worry about him as far as we're going.
Okay. What's suited?
I believe what should be suited here sounds like. I think we're also looking at spades, finesse.
Yeah, okay. I'm also going to say the diamonds is suited because I am trying to take advantage of this guard's distracted nature and trying to time his patrol out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to play 2 cards for a total value of 8.
Okay. Okay, a few things here. One zone, single action. 2 cards face up for 8. So you have a total of 8?
Total of 8,
Yep,
yeah.
that's more than enough. We'll say as he kind of comes and you see him head over here, and there is a little bit of a ledge here, so people don't just fall through. So
Okay.
it's not too hard to just sort of like head as he's sort of heading around that way.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to draw back up to 4. Now, as I'm working my way along this balcony, I'm just going to take a glance over into the first floor foyer.
Mm-hmm.
What's it look like down there?
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. So as you step through, I will say like as you sort of look through the first, as you're able to look through, you actually see the guard that you saw before kind of come back in, and he walks. What would I just do?
Oh, I'm doing terrible things. Don't.
No, I accidentally like he just got a lot smaller for some reason. He's like walking up and then heads to the left, basically underneath the hallway to your left.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically comes from here and then over
Mm-hmm.
to here, and then he's underneath like there. As you kind of,
Gotcha.
and you hear him like open a door, and there's a point where the two of them goes, "How's it going?" He goes, oh, "Boring as shit." Worst ways for it to be. I'm losing money. As he heads back somewhere into there, you hear a door open and then shut.
So there's at least one other person that he just spoke to on the first floor,
That's the guard. Yeah, that's the guard you saw outside.
pissing into the
Yeah, and
river.
you see him walk back in and then head underneath, and he's essentially. Can you see that?
I
Is
can
there?
see the pings. I can see the pings on the second
Yeah,
floor.
it's essentially the first, like basically right below there on the first floor.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, like that. Look at the dining room on the first floor. You can
Yeah.
see
Okay.
that's where that seems to be probably where he's gone into it at.
All right. So I'm going to scoop my way over to the doors to 14.
Whoa, what's that? What did I do? Something just happened. I had to pop back in. I did something wrong. Um, that was weird. Um, okay. So you pop towards 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do me a favor. Go ahead. Um, as you reach, I'm gonna move you a little bit. As you reach to here, you're gonna go to stealth level 5. So because it's a little bit darker there, go ahead and pull
Okay.
another card in your hand,
Okay.
and I want you to play to sneak because
Uh,
as you go through, you're gonna hear some people inside the rooms you pass.
okay. I can't go to stealth level 5 because of my disguise.
Oh, then yeah, then you have 4. So if you just want to go ahead and play from there.
Okay. All right. So I've got a sneak play that I need to deal with. I'm double checking my specials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a search is not the is a search a die roll a die roll instead of sneaking, or is a search specifically when someone's on alert?
It's a roll to notice them. Okay, so you can play cards or take your chances. You can play cards on an action to avoid detection, or you can let the house roll dice to see if anybody notices you. That's good. That's good to keep in mind.
Okay.
So your choice makes a player between knowing your current stealth level. Sometimes you can. So for me, I could always roll like a 6 in a place where
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a 6. But if you play the cards, you could potentially play enough to be over it. But you could also go. I'm just gonna see does he notice me as I do this thing.
Okay. Um, so I have my Queen of Spades is displaced. Discard when a search reveals your position.
Okay.
Um, is that the die roll to see if somebody notices me, or is that
Yeah.
a
So basically,
supplement?
if I roll over it, you can
Mm-hmm.
go. Nope. I'm gonna use that, and then so yeah. So this is an important thing that I had forgotten. There's a lot of like little fiddly things. Yeah. So whenever you're going through, you can choose to play, or you can go. Go ahead and make your roll, and I make a
Mm-hmm.
roll to see if they've noticed you. So depending on the stealth level, as you pop into here, it's going to be 5. You want me to roll?
Um, no, because there's actually thinking about it. It says searcher misses you but may continue. So that suggests that if that I might escalate the situation over here if I did that. Um,
Well, the continue is usually them just like walking around, or if they're already. Oh, is that from what you've like? If they're moving through, they might just move through.
yeah. Okay. So I think if I'll play cards for this. This is a sneak to not draw the attention of the people talking in the rooms I'm passing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's suited?
Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna go hearts. We'll say a little ballsy kind of helps here because you got to like move at the right time.
Okay. Um, I will say that spades is suited for finesse reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as disguises go, if I want to refresh my disguise, do I have to discard the cards in it?
I don't believe so. Actually, wait a minute. I started looking in the PDF. I put the disguise levels. During play, you can draw from your disguise instead of your deck anytime you're allowed to draw from your deck. Draw cards from your disguise in any order you like, then move your remaining disguise cards leftward. Never return cards to your disguise. You draw in disguise, it may wear thin as you risk drawing unwanted attention. Disguise works like another stealth level. NPCs roll against it to see through your disguise. That's if they see you.
Mm-hmm.
If an NPC rolls on the dice, on the die, then your disguise level, they do not believe you are who you say you are. Okay, so there's that. And I believe... So, I know when you're talking with them, you can go ahead and put extra ones in. Otherwise, you can kind of take a turn to drop things into your... Because I know there's a special where you can do it instantly without
Mm-hmm.
taking an action. So I think it's an action to put things into your disguise level.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, Now, did it say that I draw from the disguise instead of? Can I
Any,
play
any
card?
Yeah, basically anytime you need to roll, and this is actually in in the rules little stuff that's there on using disguise. You can draw from your disguise instead of your deck anytime you're allowed to draw from your deck. You can't play directly from it, but you can draw from it.
Okay, so if I wanted to use cards out of my disguise in an action, I would have to slow play the action and
Yeah.
then draw to replace from the disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be ballsy. Um, One card play. So that is a 5.
Okay. As he kind of walks through here. Yeah, and it's kind of good that you do is you go in there and you're in the thing, and then you hear from your right, you hear a dog kind of snoring.
Okay.
That's the sound you hear, which means animals are a lot more aware of shit than humans are.
Mm-hmm. So that would be room 11.
Yeah, yeah, to your north.
Okay. Woof. Okay, so to speak. Okay. Do I hear anything else as I make it to 14?
We'll say is you kind of move down here. So for the slow play, you're playing another card.
No, actually, five's my total action.
Okay, five. Yeah, five will actually kind of get you through here. This is gonna happen. Did something just pop up for you?
Yes.
Do you want to read Joran or do you want to read Gabriella?
I will read Gabriella.
So this is in room 12. This is the one directly south before 14.
Okay.
As you go through, Joran, Winnie's dead.
You have a lot of faith in Doramus.
I've never met someone more capable.
If she fails in this,
Ingo isn't here for Laramus. He's here to start the revolution.
he didn't bring nearly enough guards if that's what he's planning. We're all going to get executed.
Ingo brought Feygold.
What?
6.
That's impossible. 6?
Keep your voice down.
So there's 6 Fagel down in the armory.
No one will find him.
Make sure none of those stupid guards opens the goddamn stairs again.
They've been informed. Besides, only Zelinda knows how.
Why does she know? That's the kind of thing we're supposed to keep secret.
She had to help me dispose of one of Laramus's indiscretions.
You'd think as much money as he has, he could get better drugs.
At that moment, Feygold is something you've heard about before. And it's been rumored, Feygold is supposed to be something that actually buys power and magic from the Fey themselves. There is, I'm going to pop this out too if you want to take a look. According to the old rhyme, um, for us, this is for magpies. But for them, the thought is if you have Fey gold and you have enough of it, this is what the Fey and the magical powers can visit if you use it on someone else.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So six Fey gold could be exchanged for
And from the
the
things
early
you've
portion.
yeah, it's from things you've heard, like according to the legends, gold here is like a king's ransom worth of gold.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna sit in the dark and process this for a moment. I'm checking my notes against this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard the name Daramis, have
Oh,
I?
Daramis is Laramis's wife, and I apologize for those being very similar. When I wrote those down to grab the things for it, I wasn't. Oh yeah, I just kind of wrote those down, but what? Did another name generator and pulled something, so they look a
Mm-hmm.
lot alike, which they should not.
Okay.
That is completely my fault.
All right. And I nuked roll 20, so I'm coming back in.
That happened to me too. I don't know if it's a weird roll 20 thing tonight.
So there's six Fey gold in the armory, and the door to the armory is sealed. And roll 20 is still broken. 1 second. There is a person whose name I'm going to have to look up in a second.
It is Zelinda.
Zelinda. Zelinda knows how to get into the armory. And the name Zelinda is not ringing a bell.
Not someone you've seen so far.
Could you give me a link to well, I guess I'll hit the roll 20 link again. This is Project Dark.
Yep.
Okay. I see we've got the jukebox.
Oh, did something pop up?
Yeah,
The
guard
snoring, which I
guard two snoring.
which
Yeah,
I did not work earlier. There we go. Yeah. Because you played Thief, right?
yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I went through and put like, let's see if this pops up.
Okay, calm down. There's nothing there.
So I put several things from the Thief games up there, so you can just kind of grab hold of it and go like, oh, here's like you hear a guard here. Like this is someone kvetching in the bottom.
So only Zelinda knows how to open the stairs, but presumably Joran and Gabriella, one or both of Joran and Gabriella might know as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, you also if now you know where to look, so that's one of the things you might be able to find.
Mm-hmm.
So like now you have a place to know to look to find some sort of a secret something.
Okay. Secret stairs down to the armory. And I do have stairs on the floor plan, though those might not be the stairs in question. Interesting.
Of course, you might also walk by someplace where Linda is and also hear a conversation happening outside of that.
All right. In any case, I guess I'll proceed to 14.
Okay. Do you want to play it, or do you want to make a roll?
Oh, I see. The five of hearts got me to
Yeah.
the servant's door.
Mm-hmm.
My stealth level is currently 4 in here right now.
Well, 5, but yeah, your total is 4 because you're disguise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll play it. What are my what's suited?
I think again this is the one that we'll go hearts again because like bold, like fortune favors the bold.
Okay. And finesse again for sneaking.
Yep.
I'm going to play a 1-card action and activate it.
All right. Yeah, that is not a problem, and I do not have something in front of it. You just pop into there. The master bedroom. Couple things are very clearly obvious very quickly. As you look up, there's like a pile of books he's clearly been reading, some like notes and such taken next to it. You've got like fine art and such on the walls. It's also very clear that you're pretty sure his wife does not sleep in this room.
Okay.
This is clearly a room that generally only a single person is sleeping in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you come in like the hearth itself. The coals are low, so someone if they wanted to start a fire if he comes back, it won't be hard to do. But it's just a little like a little glimmer in the air essentially.
Okay. What's the stealth level in here?
5.
Okay. So this looks like this is Ingo's room then.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, this looks like it's
not Ingo's. This is Laramis's room.
Laramis's room, right? As opposed to Daramis.
Yep.
Well, there's probably some useful. I want to take a round around an eye around here for any interesting information and anything that looks grabbable.
Okay. So a couple things as you look through, you notice like the notes he's made is all about like the various houses and such in here, how to get into like the some of the higher houses and stuff about bribes. So like with the jewels, and there's like a little thing of like an amount of money with the jewels. You see nothing in his notes about Faygold.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, Faygold is such a by its nature, even if the true nature of it's bullshit. At least from where you're at, people seem to believe it enough that this is worth like a 1 or 2 is worth a small fortune.
Mm-hmm.
So like the stuff he's talking about as far as bribes and payoffs go, as you're looking through his notes, seem to be about jewelry and not about, or jewels rather, and not about like fake gold.
No, he's clearly out of his depth here.
Yep. However, as you're looking around, there is stuff. You have artwork. You've got a whole bunch of like really good stuff on modern politics that have been put together, including stuff that might be great for bribes. And you've got some stuff a little bit on like that seem to be about magic and such in a couple of the books and the bookshelves and other stuff.
Okay. How nuts do I want to go here? I feel like the notion of Faygold in the house has basically recontextualized my plans here. Though it's not the jewels. There are Ingo. There was a claim that Ingo was bringing jewels, and that may be what Laramis thinks Ingo is bringing. But it's entirely possible that I mean, who can move Faygold? Like how? If I come out of here with 6 Faygold instead of the jewels,
you have honestly like the thing is, you have no idea. Like, these are the kind of things that like people who know a shit ton about magic would have a better idea. But these are also the kind of things that like kings and queens and nobility and such, like hire people to be able to use.
Mm-hmm.
And that is if the legends are true, even if they're not true, enough people will believe it's true that if you can find a buyer, but there'll also be like fake gold's not the kind of thing that disappears without people noticing.
Yeah, no, this. It's audacious. If I decide this is what I'm going for, there is a serious possibility that there are no jewels here, though.
Though I mean, just knowing what you know about uh, cons, it sounds like Larmus is being conned,
Yeah,
but the con would be like the jewels or something that's at least worth something is there.
yeah.
Maybe not
Okay.
enough, but there needs to be enough for him to see it and go, because like whatever it is, and they did mention his wife Daramus
Hmm.
in the thing, so the Feygold is probably the real thing. But if they can get 6 Feygold, uh, enough jewels to bribe himself into that is not that big a deal.
Sure, sure. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do some looting here. I am going to drop 2 cards for 4 points.
Okay. And what are your knowledge skills?
Politics.
Okay.
Two in culture, 1 in politics.
Okay. Yeah. So in here, like this stuff is all politics, art, and arcane.
Okay, politics
So
it is.
yeah. So with the politics is times 50.
Woo!
So you have how much?
So that's 4 times 50. So 200 total
Yeah.
across
So
2 slots.
yeah. So 200 total. You basically get a whole bunch of notes on the current sort of strengths and weaknesses of a number of the houses that are currently exist. They're messy, and there's a couple books and stuff that it's not a bad idea to take with it because he made notes specifically from those.
So that is 400 across 2 slots.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what did you-
All right. So I will draw. I am going to. I'm going to draw partially from my disguise.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to. Oh, that card actually does something. Oh, ooh, interesting. Oh, fun thing. If I draw another card from my disguise, there's an order of operations thing here because if I draw another card from my disguise, my stealth level is capped at 5 instead of 4,
Mm-hmm.
which means that I would then be able to draw the card.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, what is that? Is it a queen of? It's a queen of hearts. You know what? Maybe not. Let's. Is that legit? Can I break my disguise enough to draw this card?
Yeah, because it would then take you so that you can have up to stealth level 5.
Okay, cool. All right, so not much in the way of jewels here. However, plenty of exciting things elsewhere in the building. So I am going to. Oh man, but the dog's in 11.
Mm-hmm.
That is atrocious.
Which you also could leave up to die roll.
Well, the dog is probably asleep,
Mm-hmm.
but is going to be alerted by heavy card plays, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but it's going to be based on stealth level. The rolls on stealth level. Yeah, I'm going to pop over into 11. Let's do it by a die roll.
Are you gonna go into the room?
Oof. Let's step over and try 13 first.
Okay.
And I'm okay taking a die roll moving from 14 to 13.
All right. Nope. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you go in, if you want to move yourself into 13, I'll move the door out of the way.
Okay.
You gotta actually go through the door. I have it so that like. So yeah. So
Oh,
as you
oh,
go in,
Jesus.
there
Okay.
there are two servants asleep
Okay.
in the room. Now the servant's bedroom up here is probably like you're looking at like the the servants who wait directly on the lord and lady of the manor.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're sort of looking through, the stuff in here is a little bit nicer than you might see in other servants' quarters, but it's also not great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And these people are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm assuming from context that I'm consuming in context that Zelinda is a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Um I haven't seen any women guards yet, have I?
No, really, you've only seen two of the guards so far.
Okay.
However, it's not hard to remember that the one you saw outside was complaining about losing money.
Yeah.
So, guards in a card game are not unusual.
Uh-huh. Okay. Do I chance getting into 11? There's a dog sleeping in there. I mean, that's a sanity check here. I'm
Dogs.
assuming.
So, I mean, just imagine real life. You're trying to walk into a place as a stranger where a dog's sleeping.
Uh-huh.
Like, how hard is that?
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I I don't like my odds.
Yeah. The thing is, like, when you have guards walking around with dogs, you got to be really careful. If you're going into a room a dog is in, it's possible not to wake it up, but you got to be real careful.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to assume that that is Daramis's room, and I'm going to assume that she's not in there. And I'm going to assume, well, I don't think I need anything out of that room in order to more fully explore this place. So, all right, I'm going to examine the floor plan for a second here.
Mm-hmm. While you do that, I'm gonna pee real quick and then refill my drink.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to creep my way. If I'm over here in room 13, I'm going to creep my way over to the hearth. Is this chimney connected to the kitchen?
Yes.
Is there a fire in it?
Yeah, there is a little bit of a fire downstairs. However, as you sneak over, do you want to be Hartwig or Helga?
I will be Helga.
Not bad. I'm moving up in the Hawks, and that'll mean more money.
So that's what you think I am?
No, it's just...
Don't you have someplace to, I don't know, guard?
Shiniest jewel in the house is right in front of me.
You're trying very hard.
I want more than an occasional evening.
Hartwig.
What? Aren't we good together? Hasn't it been good?
Look, the lady is involved in... Your job might get a lot more dangerous soon.
What?
Things are going to get bad soon. Hartwig, I don't know where any of us will be soon.
Then run away with me.
Hart!
And you hear her, looks like kind of like getting some stuff ready, maybe cleaning some stuff down there, and then you hear a door open and shut.
Okay. Okay. So Operation Slide Down the Chimney is fraught for several reasons. But I happen to know from the floor plan that the stairs to the basement are in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
How lit does it look down there?
Not, I mean, it looks like most light is coming from a very dim fire that's down there. Your guess is if someone's there working, like sneaking through, like it sounds like whoever else was in the room with her just left.
Yes.
And that sounds like the kind of conversation where he doesn't pop back in immediately.
Yeah, no.
So you're guessing, well, it's gonna be fairly dark. There's someone kind of moving around, but they're also probably going to be working.
Okay. The kitchen has no windows. It's got a door in from the outside.
There are windows where you're at.
Yeah. No, I'm currently thinking. My current thought is to go out. My current thinking is to go out one of the north windows and drop into the bushes.
I love that
down by the kitchen door
so much. Yeah, I will say about what you're looking at before. Probably about an 8.
Okay.
Total difficulty.
Okay. What's suited?
We can kind of go with what we went with before. Whoops, with that, that's wrong thing to move in Google Docs. Yeah, why don't we say, I'll go with clubs to grab a hold and make your way down.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say spades for finesse.
Okay.
And I'm just going to end the discussion.
You what?
11. One card action.
You're like, thunk. Yeah, so you parkour your way down like nobody's business.
Back up to stealth level 5?
Yep, on the outside. You are now, if you look up at the manor, up top. I'll kind of put you in the thing. You see her kind of working and kind of getting some stuff cooked. The stuff's kind of preparing for the next day, which looks like you have a feeling that they might be having some people over tomorrow. This might have something to do with the bribe. That is, it's for preparing the kind of stuff that you get a lot of stuff done overnight and then the next day.
Okay. And the kitchen door is open?
No, I'm just saying you can probably just like you kind of know this stuff. You can kind of just kind of peek in, sort of like through the bolt hole or the keyhole and whatever. And even like she's distracted enough that it's not locked.
Okay. And what do I see at the stairs, if anything?
So you look down the steps, and the steps themselves just go down. You can see like just a wall on the opposite side, and then like hallways that seem to go off to either way at the bottom.
Interesting. So these aren't the stairs they're talking about.
Correct.
Unless there's...
There's no opening in these steps. These are just regular steps down to the basement where you would keep like a lot of stuff for a kitchen is often kept in the basement. There's nothing hidden about these.
Okay, interesting. Do I want to try and pick up another eavesdrop on the first floor before I...
Where could there possibly be an eavesdrop, I wonder?
Yeah. What's the way on room 2? What are the wavy lines, the scallops against the northwest wall?
Oh, like those are like hangings. Those are like
Oh. Okay.
Tapestries.
Well, if I can get through to the hallway, if I can get through to the hallway of 5, 6, 7, 8, I can probably get an eavesdrop.
All right.
So yeah, let me come over to the west door.
Okay. So when you go in there, it's going to end up being a 4.
Okay.
You said west door, so you're going to go in through the kitchen?
No, I was thinking of what's the outside of the house look like around the circling around the house to the west?
Oh, to the west?
Yeah.
This is all this is 5. It's a stealth level 5. There's a wall that gets here. It's like basically, if you want to imagine, like here's where the wall kind of pops out, and then it goes around. So you've essentially got an area in front of these doors that's open, but the ones here are like people have to come around to drop stuff off in. It's kind of it's basically essentially the place where they go to smoke, where the kitchen staff goes to smoke.
So, what you're saying is I can't make it to here.
Oh no, you absolutely can, because that wall goes all around the back. So it's essentially like the same thing you came in the back. That is the wall that goes there goes all the way around from essentially like here. It goes north or up of here, and then like it would be like to your north, kind of. You can see a little bit of the ping there. That would be wall, and then it would go all the way down, like this direction, and down. So yeah, you basically where you're at now, you have the entire back of the house. You'd have to pop over the wall to get to those front doors.
Oh, I see. Okay. So what you're saying is I cannot make it from here to here.
You can. You just go over a wall.
Okay.
And again, this is not a particularly hard wall for you to get over.
Okay, so new plan. I'm going to slowly ease this door open and then creep through down the stairs.
Okay. Yeah, so you'll be like, if you want to go ahead and make your play, you'd be only be in 4 for a very little bit, so we're not going to make you have to discard cards for that.
Okay. I'm going to trust this to the dice.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So as you come through, we're going to go ahead and still count you because you're just coming through here. As you sort of pop through that area, oh, I tried to put up servants, but it was the wrong style. But I will just say this.
Uh, hello? Anyone there?
Imagine that in a woman's voice, as she
Mm-hmm.
sort of hears something and sort of turns. What do you? You're like partway down the steps. What do you do?
Um, I think I am going to. I am going to just crouch down in the dark and go still.
Okay. So yeah, so where you're at, you see her kind of poke her head through here and sort of check the door is still a tiny bit ajar.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't quite shut it when you came through, and she's like, "Huh." And you see her up there. If she turns and looks down the staircase, like there's a decent chance. Do you head around the corner?
Yeah,
Or down?
I'm gonna head down into the basement.
Okay. Do you want to make that a stealth action, or do you want to leave that to her roll?
Um, I'm currently in stealth level 5.
Yep.
Let's have a roll for it.
Okay. So I will, unless something happens, I'm gonna just move you. Oh, I moved the wrong person. I'm sorry, I moved her. Um, I was like, there should be at least a little bit of fog of war happening here. Um, yeah. So as you head down, God damn it. Oh, I see why. Okay, let me do this. My idea of having that little thing which you can barely see was a good idea on its surface, but it makes them hard to hold. Um, you come down to the basement and you hear her go, "What is that?" And she's heading down the basement after you. So
Mm-hmm.
if you scroll like way the hell down,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna see where you're at down there.
Yep.
You are currently in the basement, and she is probably making her way down after because she kind of saw or heard something, and she's curious.
Okay.
She's not quite to the point where she's going to go to somebody else, but you know that like skittish servants, particularly one who seemed to be uh, dating or sleeping with one of the guards, is probably going to have no problem going to him if she feels a little scared.
Mm-hmm. Um, I'm gonna step through into I think it's 18. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna step through into 8. Oh no, I'm actually gonna go around the corner into 17. No,
Okay.
I'm gonna go to 18 and just sort of crouch among the barrels
Okay.
and
No.
just try and go dark. Just try and go dark.
Okay. So you go kind of in there. Do you
Hmm.
want to leave this to her? Here it's 6. Do you want to leave this to her roll, or do you want to? Basically, if it's a 6, she's probably going after somebody.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or do you want to play
So my
cards?
stealth level is currently 6.
Yep.
Okay. Well, 5 because of the disguise. Um. Ugh. These freaking cards.
To the point you're like, I'm going to steal something little.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, that might make sense. Well, no, I actually have the opposite problem.
Oh, you have huge ones?
I have a handful of utility. Um. Oh, hold on. That's not the card I thought it was. Holy shit. Yeah, no, yeah, I think I mean, this is gonna be a stealth play.
Okay.
So, what suited?
I. Whoa. God damn it. I'm going to go again with, once again, with hearts that, like, rushing into a thing will. Getting the hell out of the way is probably good.
Okay. Making sure I can control my breathing and just stay calm as I'm being actively pursued here. I will say that Spades is also suited because silence and precision is very critical here. So I am going to. How do I want to? How cheeky do I want to be here? Now I can play a non-suited card. It just ends my action, right?
Correct.
And I can only play one non-suited card.
Yep.
Why do I hold on? Why do I have a? What is that card?
What card do you have?
In my disguise, is that a Queen of Diamonds? No, it's a Queen of Hearts. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna slow play this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play my 4 of Hearts, and then I'm gonna draw the Queen.
Yeah, she kind of pops down. She's like really nervous, and she's kind of like looking around, scanning the darkness.
Okay, and then I'm going to play the Queen. And -1 suspicion on the play.
Okay, so only 1 suspicion?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I'm going to activate.
Is that what your queen does? Or what's activate?
I'm completing the action.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as she kind of pops down, you actually hear from over here. What? She's, oh. I thought I saw someone. There's no one down here but me. Well, couple people in the wine cellar, but just a couple of us. She goes, oh. Okay, must be my imagination. All right. And she kind of walks back up the steps, and you are there in the darkness.
Okay. So I'm going to draw a card out of my disguise, destroying the disguise, and then draw to 6.
All right.
I feel like the servants are known enough in this place that I'm not sure how much mileage I'm going to get out of disguise anyway. Okay. Cute. All right. I'm going to try and find that armory.
Okay. Where are you moving?
I'm going to move east to 20 and see what's going on there.
Okay. You did hear the voice coming from there. So do you want to do this by roll, or do you want to do this by card play?
I'm in stealth level 6. I'm going to do it by roll.
All right. Yeah, as you pass by, if you want to take yourself to 20. A lot of the stuff you have down here is food stuff. There's going to be other supplies of just a lot. It just becomes like things that are necessary for a mansion, but aren't necessarily great to like steal and take places. There's a guard who's sitting there, and he's got a bottle of wine that he's taken. That you can see straight ahead, the door all the way over here. There is light coming from underneath it, and the guard is just sort of sitting on a crate there. He's got a bottle of wine, and just. Helmet sort of off next to him on the thing. And he's just sort of relaxing. Moving past him is not going to be particularly difficult. He has no clue you're there.
Okay. So I will advance to 21.
Okay. go and move yourself.
Okay.
As you come by, the well that they have is down here. You've also got, again, you got some crates, some other stuff. A quick sort of glance. Again, the stuff you're looking at here is mostly your standard, like I said, just house necessities.
Gotcha. I'm going to come up to the door and see if I can hear anything on the other side of it.
Okay. On the other side of the door, you can hear some singing. Like, clearly some people who are drinking. So you hear someone like, "Give me the bottle."
Bafford Manor.
And it's like, it's one of those weird things. It feels like it's stereotypical, but you can tell a guard from a servant. Their thing, because the guard's a little bit rougher. The servants have to be generally a little more. It sounds like there's like 2 guards and a servant down there drinking. Like, I'm looking through like a keyhole straight across from you. You can see. Well, I'll just do this. Like straight across from you, you can see some wine racks.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of up towards the. It sounds like it's basically to your left from where you're at. Up in that like the top corner sounds like where they're drinking.
Gotcha.
So now the wine bottles, probably not hard to find some that are worth kind of a decent amount. And that's your culture is going to help a lot there.
Okay. Still don't have a lock on that armory. Nothing I've passed looks like an armory, right?
No, just kind of got the walls and such. Now the thing is, you are aware there's really only one other set of stairs in the entire building.
It's the first to second floor.
Yeah.
No, I'm presuming there's a sub basement.
I'm gonna do something real quick. Shouldn't make a difference. I'm just gonna pop it from your point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rejoin as player.
Yeah, I'm gonna step away for just a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I see. For you, yeah, tokens disappear for you. Like, you can't see the guard in 20 anymore.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
token's still there. That's interesting. That's cool.
So I feel like. All right, I'm going to review the servant's eavesdrop. opens the goddamn stairs again. Woof. I'm just trying. Oh, I don't have knowledge architecture. I'm just trying to get a sense of this place and whether the basement I'm in accounts for the floor plan of the house. Basement, not the state. No, there's plenty of. There's not that much to basement. There could be plenty of more basement out here, even on the same level, let alone farther down. So I feel like I have a couple of options here. I can go into the wine cellar and risk getting detected by 3 people while I raid it for bottles. I can try and check out whatever room 23 is, which involves getting by guards. Or I can take my chances with the servant up in the kitchen and go back up to floor 1 for more info, because I feel like as far as mundane loot goes, I haven't encountered anything serious up into the wine cellar. Big oof. And there's a
out of curiosity as a GM.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you play dungeon crawl stuff much?
Not very much. Okay. A little bit of tread, but I don't do too much in the way of dungeon crawls.
Because I did that when I was younger, but I haven't had any desire in a long time. But like, this just feels like you're having a lot more interesting decision making than most of the time in dungeons.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what it's like as a player.
I mean, if you want me to say I search for secret doors, I can. I'm just
I'm literally not talking about that. I'm just talking. It seems like you're having to weigh options more traveling through this than like players do in a dungeon crawl. And this isn't the secret door thing. This is more of like, it's risky to go in here. As opposed to like usually dungeon crawl, it's like, when we go in here, we're probably going to fight something.
Yeah, it's resource management. Like this situation is going to go belly up as soon as I run out of good cards.
How close are you to reshuffling?
I don't know how I can find that out.
1, 2, 3. Oh, it doesn't show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You have 17 cards in your discard. Your deck is 27.
Okay, so 17 cards in my discard, 6 more in my hand.
Oh, actually, I'm an idiot. Why didn't I just go choose?
So
you have 4 cards.
4 cards left in my deck, and
you could disguise yourself again and then reshuffle.
Wow. Okay. That is funny.
Yeah, I was thinking it was just interesting because I'm going like I find this much more interesting, like, than the idea of a role playing dungeon crawl. Mm-hmm. Just from like watching you go, do I go in there and do this or not?
Mm-hmm. The problem with Operation Reshuffle is 2 of my 23 cards are jokers.
That is a fact.
Now, admittedly, once I give you the jokers, then I have 21 cards, and the deck cycles a little faster.
Oh, you have 1 joker in your hand.
Yes, quite. Speaking of the devil,
I'm a person who I love when systems make for interesting tension.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so cool. Like I'm digging, like, as a GM, I'm digging that aspect in a way that I'd be very bored if this was a dungeon crawl.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I only get to come down here for real once. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have enough information to find out where that secret door. Well, you know what? Fortune favors the brave.
Now they're drunk, which often means their alertness is lower.
Okay, so I'm going to try and sneak into 23.
Okay. Now, do you want to do that? I will say, in there you have because there is light, you have a 3 stealth level. Do you want to go with a roll, or do you want to go with playing?
No, that's a 67% chance
Yep.
of a
Now,
situation.
drunk
That's
means their alertness is generally 2.
mm-hmm.
Now, most guards, and this is something your character would know just because you're a professional, most
Mm-hmm.
guards have a kind of guile alertness as far as that goes of 2. There's a
Mm-hmm.
very good chance that 4 is what your thing is. Now, sometimes there's servants occasionally have more, but usually not in like able to pay attention to stuff.
Gotcha. All right. I'm gonna see if I can make through. I can see if I can make this.
Okay.
Um, so I'm trying this. What's suited?
Um, Once again, I'm gonna go metal because there's a point where you've got to just like go from cover to cover.
Okay. I'm also gonna say that spades is suited for obvious reasons. Um, quickly and quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, +1 tumbler. Right, right. Okay, so I am going to. I'm going to. This is 5. Is that going to be? I don't know what the servant situation is going to be.
Do you just want to go with 5, or do you want to go with more?
7, and then I'm going to hand you a joker for -1 suspicion on the play.
Okay. So yeah, I'm assuming you probably rush into something like here.
Yep,
All right. So I'm gonna
and
grab that Joker.
yep. And what's my stealth level at the moment?
Stealth level in here is a 3.
Okay, so I don't get to draw anymore. Oof. All right.
Now your trailing card would have been your 2, I'm guessing. So I'm not going to grab your 2 with the Joker.
Okay. Oh, right, because you can you
I can either
can
capture a card. Now that's the one thing. The inspector. I mean, honestly, the inspector rules and like guidance for like what should NPC stats be feels like it's really the only thing that's not in the player's guide.
mm-hmm.
That like if you've got any awareness of how games work, that would be helpful,
Okay.
or particularly like needful. Um, which is why I'm like, just get the rest out. Will, you're this close.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the thing. I need to be careful too because you're right because you can grab you can grab the top of my discard pile with a joker, which means that I don't want to leave one of my best cards there. Quite. Okay. So what's going on in 23?
okay. Yeah. So 20. As you look at 23, its storage is a little bit darker in there. But the one thing you know about like they've got like the wine racks that are set up, but then often what do you go across or do you pop into 23? Because you mentioned 23
I
earlier.
pop into the south side of 23 where the barrels are.
Okay, you have a 4 stealth level.
Okay.
So the thing is there are the racks that are all set up for people to go in and grab wine out of. Then there's the place you keep the better wine, and that is in 23.
Okay. Beautiful. Um, okay. I am going to. Oh, what a mess. I can't slow play a loot roll, can I?
I don't think there's any reason you can't, because it could be like taking the time to look through to grab a few things. Because it thing is, it also gives stuff for happen up there, because they could end up moving down.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start shuffling bottles of wine into my bag. And I'm going to slow play. I'm going to draw to replace that. Draw to replace the ace.
Mm-hmm. Is that ace an 11 or is that a 1?
That's an 11. And then I'm going to complete the loot draw to make it 14 across 2 cards.
Okay. Let me do this real quick. So you have a 14. This is for loot.
Oh, hold on. But can I try this a slightly different slightly different manner?
Yeah.
I'm going to discard a jack
Uh huh.
to activate the. This is Jack of Clubs, right?
Uh huh.
It better be. Yeah, that's clubs. Okay. I'm going to discard Jack of Clubs for strong recovery. Find and draw any one card from your discard pile.
And you should be able to pull out your own discard.
Okay.
If you hold it over the deck down there, if you scroll down, do you see discard?
I do.
Okay.
So I'm going to draw my ace of spades.
I'm gonna move it so you can. There's probably in the dark so you can see it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm slow playing. So this is Ace of Hearts, draw to replace it, discard my Jack of Spades to my Jack of Clubs to draw my Ace of Spades to my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Complete the loot with a 3 of spades.
Okay.
And activate the loot action.
Okay, so I'm going to use your Joker.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to disappear.
Okay.
You go through, and there is a bottle of wine, and this is your culture.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. There is going to be a maximum of 1,200 here. This
Okay.
It's going to be worth 1,200.
Wow.
As you're going through, there is a bottle of wine, the kind of which is probably used to impress the shit out of someone who is pretty high up.
Mm-hmm.
And since you have 2 points in culture, you know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I know people who spend so much. It's 2 slots.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1,200.
Mm-hmm.
But as you hear him go, no. You hear up north of you? No. Let me get the good stuff. As the servant starts walking his way down to where you're at.
That's beautiful. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's like all 3 of these get deleted. Go back to your discard.
Okay, that's worth 2 slots. All right, so I will draw to replace. I'm at stealth level 4 theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I still have a card in my discard pile. I have 1 card in my discard pile, right?
Or no, you shouldn't have any at this point. I mean, or no, you have 1 card in your regular pile. Yeah, you have a single card left in your deck.
In my deck. Okay, so it's all right. Yeah, so I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 22, 26, 20. So I have a 27 card deck.
You have, and just I can tell you, 27 cards.
Okay. So theoretically, if I've been counting cards, I should know what that card is. But
you know what? I'll tell you.
Uh-huh.
It's a 5. 5 of clubs.
Okay. That's a nice card. Oh boy, what do we got going on here? We've got. He's not going to find the good stuff. He's not going to find the good. Well,
to be honest, the chances of him going after a bottle that expensive are pretty low.
Yeah.
like that's the kind of shit the master notices.
Yeah, that's fair. So I could race past him, but that's going to draw all kinds of holy hell, and I'm not in a position where I want to be doing that right now. There's really not much space in here, is there? Is he really at the doorway there?
Oh, he's walking towards it. So
Okay.
this is just him walking towards the doorway. Like if you're like, oh, this is worth so much money. I'll get the good stuff. Like, oh shit, he's making his way towards it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And while the stealth level is like 3 and 4, depending on which of those rooms you're in, that's still there's plenty of darkness because things are lit by like torches and candles.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just sort of hunker down in the corner, and I'm gonna let him look for the stuff, and I am going to let him roll for it.
Okay, so you're 4 stealth level?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Holy shit!
He kind of walks past you, but there's a moment where he just goes, this, and then he just goes, the Golden Arbor. He would have taken that with him. Would he? Because the servants actually could become suspicious a little more than the guards. Because they know that he has a 2, and you played 2 cards. Wait, did you lower suspicion on that one? Or no, that was before, wasn't it?
I played 2 cards of loot.
Okay.
The loot was a 2 card. The loot was a two card play, no suspicion drop.
Okay. So there's a moment he's just like, he would have taken that with him, not here. And there's a moment he just goes, do you take any other bottles out of here? I don't think so. And then one of the guys walks in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Ungroup that. Let's get rid of a couple of these little tokens. He sort of walks back there, and the 2 of them kind of come. He goes, the Golden Arbor. That seems he wouldn't have taken it here. And the guard just sort of looking around. So are you going to play, or do you want to go with the stealth level again?
Oh boy. There's 2 of them. I'm sort of stuck in this space until they go away. I don't think I can get out that door right now.
It's possible, but difficult. Because their alertness right now, because something is missing, is a little bit higher.
Yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try and hunker down and stay in this area. So I'm gonna play cards on this. What are the suits?
Okay. I'm gonna go with metal. Like just the balls it takes to just sit there and be like, like that the nerve that it takes to just sit there and do that. I think so. Metal will be one of them. Mm-hmm. So that's hearts.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say spades as well, because this is my bread and butter here. So if I understand this correctly, this is ace and 2. So my trailing card is a 2. Joker number 2. So for 1 less suspicion on the play.
Okay.
Now, do I draw up after these cards go in the discard pile, or before?
After. So is this what? Is this 3 or is this 13?
This is 13.
Oh yeah, I mean you could do that with 1 really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, and they're going through, and he's just like, I don't know, maybe he took it. He goes out, and then there's one point like the guard kind of pokes his head out, and goes, Johan, yeah, what are you drinking? It's dark back here. Take a look. And you kind of hear some footsteps, and he says another type. It's not that.
Yeah.
Keep drinking.
Are you fired?
Yeah. And then the 2 of them start walking back up this way.
Okay, I leave.
Okay.
So yes, I could have done it with 1 card, but now my trailing card is a 2 of diamonds.
Curses!
On the bright side, you have another Joker. Okay, so I guess I draw. If I just draw more cards than are left, is it going to shuffle automatically?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to draw back up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Ran out of cards before drawing all cards.
Shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if are you able to hit shuffle or?
I am not.
Okay.
But I can draw 2 more. Okay, so I need to get out of this room. I think I've done enough damage in the wine cellar, so I'm going to try and get out to 21. And I think I better play this with stealth. So what's suited?
I'm going to go with metal. Fortune favors the bold.
Okay. I'm going to say that... Ooh, boy. Okay. How difficult do you think this is going to be, like a range?
Okay, so you're looking here. The guards themselves, the guards of the servant, They're at a point where they've just had like, what the hell's going on? So while they're drunk, they're also kind of wondering. So that'll put them like passive is a 4, like
Mm-hmm.
whether idle or relaxed. Drunk is like a 2. So you're
Mm-hmm.
guessing about a 3 there, plus, um, yeah, plus essentially their guile, which is usually about a 2.
Okay.
So you're probably about a 5.
Okay. Um. Okay. I'm going to play a 5 spades and then an unsuited ace of diamonds for a 6,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
All right.
So 6 total.
Whoop, you're now out here.
Okay. This is stealth level 6.
Yep.
Okay. I am going to retrace my steps to the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to retrace my steps to the kitchen. And when you gave me my Joker back,
Yeah.
when
Well,
you used
I
it,
use it to cause the complication
got it.
of the them walking down. I mean, technically, I could have done it anyway, but I was like, nah, no, they're up there drinking. That's your
Hmm.
complication.
Yes,
She's
you may wonder
actually,
how.
yeah, she's actually not there. Are
Oh,
you?
really?
No, no.
Interesting.
You have you gone all the way up to the top?
I'm going to go all the way up to the top. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean the thing is, have you scrolled all the way to the top?
Oh, I see. You're okay.
No, I
She's.
originally had still kept, like, for example, if you see where your thing is now.
Hmm.
When I said that, she was still there because that's where she was when she was looking.
Okay.
I didn't show up, so I'm like, she's not there anymore. She's back cooking, and
Gotcha. Okay.
she's back preparing.
Okay. So I want to. What's the door situation look like in here? North and south doors in the kitchen.
In North Door, you got a 4 stealth level in the actual kitchen itself. She's working again. There's nothing up north. I mean, north is that real quick sprint. You can go like behind if you keep low, behind the thing there, and the door to the south. You're not seeing anything.
Okay. I'm gonna try and creep my way out to the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Is there light? Is there more light in the hallway?
The hallway itself, you kind of saw earlier, not particularly. No.
Okay. All right. So um, I am going to. This is an actually obnoxious draw. Okay. I'm going to sit at the bottom of the stairs and build my disguise again.
Okay.
So. And I cannot put jokers in my disguise, right?
I don't think so. Where player play discards a joker used to indicate a wound. Yeah, I mean, if it goes to a wound, that would go with the same thing with the disguise. Yeah, otherwise, like, I'm going to put it in my disguise and then never use it, which is
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice try. And that's enough to give me one more card in the situation. Lol, seriously. Oh, yeah, that's legit. That's legit. Okay, I'm gonna slow play getting out of this kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna just take my way slowly up the stairs and just try and keep myself low and work my way across the kitchen to the doorway and hope
Okay.
she doesn't turn around.
So let's say you're here when you place your first one.
Okay. What do we got suited?
Um, this is definitely a guile. Well, diamonds for one.
Okay. Spades for the other.
Okay.
So I'm gonna drop my king. And I'm going to activate it, which means that I can. Well, first of all, it's quick, so I draw to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
And second, I can cover up to 2 other cards with and call them spades.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is. That's almost not even necessary here. This is a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to make it a... I'm going to make a 9 and call it there.
Yeah. Do you want to make that a slow play or just you playing?
I'm just gonna play it.
Yeah,
it's slow play except for the fact that it's a king, so
Yeah.
it bounces out.
Do you want to go straight to the hallway?
Yeah. So 9 gets me a 9 with 2-card play to the hallway.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, she kind of, as you kind of pop around, she's cutting a couple things, and then she turns, she puts it in this sort of pot that's simmering on the coals there, and as well she's like, she's putting that stuff in. You're able to just like, and then just as she sort of turns back around, the little last bit of the door goes.
Beautiful.
And you see this guard here.
Mm-hmm.
He is making his way out towards there.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find Zelinda. So I've got doors near me to 8, 5, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just going to creep down the doorway. I'm going to creep over to 8.
You're not hearing anything on the other side? You are hearing, you're kind of listening there, you hear raucous laughter coming from 5.
Yeah, let's come in and lean on that door.
Okay. So, do you want to be Friedhelm, Grimwald, Zelinda?
I'll be Grimwald.
Okay, I will be Friedhelm and Zelinda. Where the hell did Ingo's guards go?
They went with the lady, Rays.
Why did they go with a lady? Because they don't gossip about her visiting Ravenholm. Call. We all know Laramus cheats, Rays.
Well, Laramus ain't the lady, is he? Raise again and I'm taking your money. Call.
Rays.
Fucking hell.
Call.
Call.
Well, what did Ingo go with? Is he part of... He's down in the armory. Wait, we have an armory? What? Wait, is that the room you threw me into? That was not cool.
Zelinda did it to me too. I still don't know how that door activates.
I saw you pulled all the books out of the shelves.
I'm gonna find it.
No, you're not. Show him. Sounds of cards on the table.
Fuck.
Oh man. Pay up.
Well, shit. Okay. Okay. So I've only been in one first floor. Presumably, the door to the armory is not on the second floor. Just for
I don't
sense.
know, you haven't been in. Well, the only first floor room you've been in
is 3.
Yeah, is the kitchen. No,
No, I've been in.
You weren't
I've been in 3.
You
I peeked into 3.
and I put you in the 3 accidentally when I should have put you in the one up above.
Okay.
Well,
I did look in the window on 3, and you told me that there were books in there.
Yeah.
Let's walk back over to 8.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can make it into 8.
Okay. So 8. Is it open it up? That's a study.
Okay. This is looking real promising. Okay. Is this a place with books?
There's books. There's notes. Like your finance is going to be the best thing you have here.
Okay. So I have finance.
Mm-hmm.
I have enginery. So in addition to looking for loot, I'm going to look for secret doors.
Okay. Okay. You want to go ahead and play your cards?
Okay. How nuts do I want to go here?
I was going to say, you're not going to find secret doors here as you sort of look.
Okay.
You also saw the floor plans. This is probably not a place where secret doors are. Looking considering what's underneath it in the basement.
Oh yeah, it's like the wine cellar and
Yeah.
stuff. Looking at that, I just have to look for more places with books. Come on. Oh, I broke it again. Shoot.
Damn, roll 20.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I just clicked on too many things and hit a bookmark. Now, if I walk out the door, if I walk out the west door, I would be able to circle around the back of the house on the south and come back in somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
There's probably guards out there, though.
very likely. Let me know if you're going to play to steal from that room, from the study.
I might as well, yeah. I'm just I'm getting punked by roll 20 here. Sorry.
Damn, you roll 20. I love that like the beginning of the quarantine or the stay at home stuff. It's like roll 20 crashed because so many people were on it.
I heard Board Game Arena had the same problem.
I haven't used Board Game Arena. Tabletop Simulator I use a bunch.
Nice. I mean, Board Game Arena only has a certain number of games, and some of them are premium.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff it's got is entertaining. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to. How many cards do I want to drop on this? I'm going to drop 9 points. Using my. Well, actually, here, let me. So I'm going to drop my Queen of Spades. And I'm going to drop the Four of Hearts. So that's 9 points of loot with finance.
All right, you have how many points of finance?
1 point.
All right, as you go through the notes and the other stuff, like the notes, the ledgers, and everything else, you got about 225 coins worth of loot.
Okay, 225 across 2 cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those knowledge skills are key.
Yeah, I need more. I need more doubles, I think.
Yeah.
Because then you stack up on the thing that's. Okay. So if I had 0 haul, I'd be in trouble now. Hold on, I probably should have 0. Oh no, because you gave me the extra points because it's a solo game.
I think with this one person, I'm like, take some extra haul.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can also trade out what you got.
That's also true. If I end up in a situation where I desperately need more. Okay. So.
It's over there.
Okay. So that's okay. Legit. All right. Double checking the basement. I can't imagine that 6 is going to be particularly interesting either.
The basement. That's like the stuff the servants can have free access to, so that doesn't tend to be like particularly a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I think I'm going to go out to 2.
All right. So as you head out, it'll be fairly passive. As you sneak past, you hear them kind of in there.
Mm-hmm.
you got the level 5. Do you want to make a roll, or do you want to play cards for sneak
Oh,
attacks?
am I at stealth level 5 right now?
Or level 2 is, yeah, because on the one hand you do have the light from the chandelier and such, and some of it will also be like the harder wood floors. Um, the main hall itself is going to be like a 2 because of the lights that are there, but you'll be a 5 in the actual hallway.
Okay, so if I'm just sort of sitting at the edge of 2, then I'm at 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me draw up to 5.
Oh shoot! I had a function key and not the 5. I'm reloading.
Okay.
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 Okay, so I will say one thing you notice, these stairs up here, there are books. Like basically like the staircase, all the places that are not like these little things sort of on the north and west and east.
Mm-hmm.
These have books on them.
Okay.
By the way, did you want to make that a have them roll to see if they happen to catch, or do you want to play?
Um, I will play.
Okay.
So what's suited?
Um, we'll say metal here again because the it's going quickly because they're talking, they're playing, they're very distracted. So the
Okay.
hearts,
5.
yeah, that's enough.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to pause at the threshold and refresh my disguise,
Okay.
which is going to bring my stealth level down to 4, but is going to give me a disguise of 4.
Okay.
And this is going to happen over 2 rounds, so I'm spending 2 rounds building my disguise.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to walk into 2.
All right. So right now there are no guards and such in that area, and there's a moment we kind of listen for upstairs. You're not hearing that guard that was walking around up there. He might be back in that hallway. Yeah, as you go in there, the moonlight is coming through. There's like a big circular thing that's like up top above the entrance. That there's a shaft of moonlight that comes through that kind of catches a decent chunk of the steps. The steps themselves are sort of lined with books as you look up on them.
Okay, so I'm going to start dusting books.
All right. Now this is where you have a skill that'll come in handy.
Enginery?
Yeah. Do you want to make a play to see if you find it?
Yeah. This is kind of for the marbles, isn't it?
Yep.
So I'm my cover is I'm leaning on my disguise, and I'm trying to pretend that I'm just basically cleaning up in here.
Mm-hmm.
But I am looking for that secret door passage. So what's suited for this?
Because you have to go quick. God damn it! I keep using the thing for Roll20 where you right click. Finesse spades for going quickly.
Okay. Oh, that's what that is. Man, I wish. And I'm gonna say, am I okay with that? I'm gonna say hearts because I am being pretty damn audacious about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what is that? Is that a Jack of Hearts in my disguise? Is it? It'd have to be because I don't have face cards and diamonds.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to slow play this.
Mm-hmm.
So I play a 3 of hearts. That was not a 3 of hearts. I play a 3 of hearts. Thank you, roll 20. I draw the Jack of Hearts out of my disguise. And I play it.
Okay.
And... Oh, well, hold on. My stealth rating is 2 in here. So I have to immediately drop down to 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. How much is your Jack worth?
My Jack is worth 5. So I'm at 8 total. However, in the process of doing this, I needed to put... this and this on the top of my deck. So I can now...
Trying to pop
So
those.
then at round 3, I'm going to draw the 2 of hearts out of my deck. And play it and activate 3 cards.
Okay. As you do... Oh, did not play? Yeah, so as you do, you kind of hear the guard making his way back from the outside as you are probably kind of up here working on stuff. What was your total?
10.
Okay, total of 10. Very quietly, as you're kind of going through, and you know how these things kind of work, very quietly, a section of doors slides, and you're looking at steps leading down into a secret passage.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to step in and slide it closed behind me.
All right.
What's my stealth level in here?
Oh yeah. Once you get inside there,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be 5. It's fairly dark on the steps on the way down.
Okay. So
I
I will redraw my... Do I make it in, or do I need to play to get through?
No, you make it in. I'm moving your thing to the basement.
Okay. I can actually... 5 is doable, so I will...
I'll show you this too. This is one of the things I did with it. So if you look here, see how you can see out very little?
Yeah.
That is because... Whop.
Cool, okay. Oh boy.
Yeah, so as you kind of as you kind of come down, you see that down there you've got probably Inigo. It's like sleeping, sort of sleeping on the bed, and then you've got the his guard Bruno, who's like sort of like sitting in a chair, sort of head down. But he's got a soldier's alertness, someone who is used to having to wake up, possibly with something nearby them quickly. You've seen this type before. They are much twitchier than a standard standard guard.
No, this is the real shit right here. I'm just gonna let my eyes adjust to the dark and take in the room, because I suspect anything I do in here, it's gonna have to happen very tersely.
Okay. Yeah, there's a moment where as it kind of goes through, Ingo has a pouch that's on him. You also see that there's a small, probably about yay big, almost a jewelry-looking box with some locks and such on it that is sitting on a small table, sort of next to him. Beyond that, there's some other equipment and other things, and like food that they'd eaten at some point. Like they're paranoid enough that they'd been down here long enough that they'd eaten their meal and kept the stuff down here.
Okay.
And let's delete your cards. Oh, wait, I still do have a Joker. I'm going to assume that one of the ones that you leave is not like the Jack as the trailing card.
No, the trailing card was the 2.
Yeah, the 2 and the 3 are not enough for me to kind of throw that down for something.
Oh man. This is... I don't know anything about magic,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know anything about the Fae, and I'm not. I mean, that's just not my play here. However, I can't not explore this opportunity. So the box, does it look like it is fixed to the table, or does it look like I could just slip it into a bag?
The box you slip into a bag. And I think you've done stuff long enough to know that like the Fey coins, which are worth a small fortune, a large fortune rather, those he probably keeps on him. That box is the kind of thing you use to put jewels in to show the person that you are bringing jewels that are not really the most worthwhile thing you've brought with you.
Okay, that was. I think I got those switched. I think I got those switched in my brain because
Yeah.
I was being silly.
Yeah, so basically the pouch he's wearing while he's sleeping
Mm-hmm.
is most likely the fake coins. Like you know how these people do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to slice the pouch off his belt
All right, make your roll.
with my dagger. So, what's suited?
Diamonds for guile. You've got to do this just right and very quietly.
Okay. I'm gonna say that finesse is also suited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna slow play this.
Okay.
There's my ace.
How much is your ace worth?
Because slow play. Ace is worth 11.
Honestly, you just play that, you're good.
Are you sure? Because they go up to 12.
I mean, yeah, one of the things, if you want to play more, you can, but 12 you're looking at close to superhuman level.
Okay. All right. So if you're telling me this is, as the GM that if Bruno is possessed by a spirit of the Fae, I might need a 12.
Like,
then I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, to see, generally, because he's asleep, which means his alertness is low.
Mm-hmm.
He literally would have to have like something magical or superpowers to have enough to hear it here. Like
Yeah,
magic
okay.
would have to be involved. If he's up and if he's alert, maybe yes.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to trail that with some. I will going to trail that to represent my dagger.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a second card in here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will give you the second Joker for one less suspicion on the play.
Okay.
So my Ace of Clubs is my trailing card.
All right. I am going to use that Joker to capture your Ace of Clubs.
Okay.
I think if I capture it, I don't give you back the Joker, if I recall.
Okay.
Which is a
Now,
good thing.
The Ace of Clubs is only worth 1. Does it still have extra inspector issues?
No,
For being Ace?
Here's the thing: is I honestly no, but I just have at least one thing for the inspector to sort of grab.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I also have your second Joker.
Yeah, you could then spend the other Joker to get my Ace of Spades.
I'm not going to at this point.
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to scoop the box. Well, I'll draw back up to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to discard a Jack of Clubs to get my Ace of Spades back. And now I'm going to scoop the box of jewelry into my bag.
Okay. So what I'm
Actually, I might even open it slightly to make sure it is in fact jewelry in there.
Yeah, so as you grab it, and did you play your cards for it?
Not yet. Let me figure out what's suited for that.
Finesse, spades.
Okay. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say guile as well because of the fact that I'm in a tight, cramped quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna slow play this.
Yep.
So that is 2 cards. My turn ends.
Okay. You
And then I'm going to draw out of my disguise and 1 more. And you said it was spades and diamonds?
Yep.
I'm at 5. So I'm gonna make it 9.
Okay.
And 1 less suspicion on the play, so it's a 2 suspicion play.
I'm going to play the Joker to make a complication. As you kind of grab it, it had been like set up so that there was like a thing like attached to it, like on as it moved, it ching, and like a coin hits the ground. It ching, and then you just hear, and the very, very soft snoring from Bruno stops. You are in the dark, and you are aware that right now he is awake. He is not entirely, but he's heard something. That soldier stuff has come up, so you now have an awake Bruno down there.
About 2 feet to my right.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna take the last card out of my disguise. Because I think I'm gonna need clubs in a moment here. And that's you have no jokers left, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to bolt. All right, so here's the plan. I'm going to bolt out of the secret passage, out into the foyer, to the foyer. Once I am there, if there is anything I can do to jam the secret door, I will do so.
Okay. So I'm gonna say for jamming it, I'm gonna go with clubs for one of them.
And I'm going to say hearts for audacity.
All right.
So, okay. That's 10. And I think that can just stand.
Yeah, as you
suspicion. What is that?
Yeah, as you kind of hit up, and you kind of close it, and then there's a moment where you hear him kind of like move a little bit in this chair, but you are up and. Yeah, make a note. You also have how much did you play? How many cards did you play for the jewelry box?
3 minus 1. Oh yeah. I played. I didn't realize that was a loot action. I played 3 cards and then a bonus to drop suspicion by 1. So I guess is that a 3 card? Is that a 3 card?
It'll take 3, or yeah, it'll take the 2 slots.
2 slots.
1,200.
Okay. So that is.
Those are the jewels are worth a lot for like you, very little for a noble.
Okay. Did what do I need to do to track his belt pouch? Because I think that
literally
was also...
literally just write down because it's a belt pouch. It doesn't take up any space. Like literally as you take a look at it, 2 things happen. One, as you kind of like pop out into the foyer, you get the moonlight coming down. As you check it, there are 6 fey coin. Like the actual artistry of these things is beyond anything you've ever seen in your life. Also, there's a small scroll with it. If you look on roll 20.
Okay. Do I recognize the seal?
Right now you don't. That's something you're going to have to look into.
Yeah, I think at this point the adrenaline is pumping in my body, so I don't think I get to stop and examine this thing. Stealth level 2 on the stairs, right?
Yeah, I will say, are you heading out, or are you going anyplace else in the place itself?
I kind of want to check out room 3, but there comes a point when discretion is the better part of valor. So I think at this point I should take at this point I should bail. There's a door right next to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah, you head out it, and as it kind of shuts, you hear footsteps in that main foyer starting to kind of come back in as you're back out into the street. And gone.
Yeah.
And that's where you're able to check out that letter.
Beautiful. Because, yeah, I was thinking, maybe I should grab some books out of 3, but the shit is going to hit the fan very fast. So it's best I not be there when it happens.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So that covers the letter. So...
Yeah. And I can put those back to your character. As well as those 5s down there. Yeah, the Jackdaws are the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, and you got my ace of clubs, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that comes back at the end of a session. That just becomes like what the inspector would find. Now, granted, I don't know what those rules are exactly, but it ends up being a 4-session thing. The inspector stuff is probably not going to actually be important to it.
Okay, fair. Okay, so what's our end of mission?
Okay, so
deal?
basically the mission things. I think a lot of the figuring out what stuff are going, what you do next is something we do next time. Hopefully with
more people.
Hopefully with a few other people. The one guy who is not contacted at all. Is signed up for the next 2. What I might do, because I wrote him, I'm like, look, you haven't, the first thing I sent where I'm like, I think there might be a disruption. Now, granted, we have canceled the musical, so there won't be a disruption. But I never heard from him then, which is like, okay, cool, fair enough, whatever. I did not hear from him last week when I sent the thing, and I did not hear from him the other day, and I wrote him again. So I wrote him a thing, I'm like, I'm just guessing you're not going to be there. However, I think we'll have Dell next week. And I think Dell was the one that had to drop. And he let me know. He let me know beforehand. He said he felt bad. So yeah, he let me know about that. So we'll have probably at least 2, and I might even check with a couple with a friend or 2 and see if they want to join in. If we don't,
sure.
Or check even on the Gauntlet, see if anyone else, the Slack, if anyone's interested. It's from the GM. It's a super interesting tension from the GM side, seeing you have to make those decisions.
Yeah, it's fascinating. The card play stuff is just intensely fascinating, especially given all of the you can't play too many cards, you can't play cards too slowly, you can't leave your good cards sitting out to be grabbed. And then also the management of like having that Jack of Clubs is such a... I'm so glad I have that Jack of Clubs, because being able to yank my good cards back is key to this engine.
Yeah. And so I'm just thinking like you outside the wine cellar. It was just like, God, it was just this delicious tension where it's just like you're like I don't know if I can go in there, but there's gonna be something worth a lot.
Yeah.
In that area. Too.
And I was reading the situation real wrong. I thought there was a sub basement and the wine cellar was going to be the key to it. So I figured I had to leave and come back, but I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, so here's the thing: when I ran this as more like too much like leverage, where like we didn't get to much of the sneaking stuff at all, which would have been great if we were playing leverage. But like as we talked about the combat stuff, like it's not designed for you to like just come in and do a huge melee. I think even if you have bonuses, it's still going. Fighting should be not the first option. But like yeah, we had one guy who was like, "Oh, I'm just going to take a crowbar," because he found out in his thing that there had been in the sewers, there had been part of the sewers had been moved and new construction had been built. So he's like, "Oh, there's a secret room somewhere down here." But then he's like, "I take a crowbar and start bashing my way through." I'm like, because he's like, "I'm playing a dumb character." I'm like, "Your character's not that dumb." Like there are it's in the daytime. There's people there. If you crash through a wall, someone's probably gonna hear.
It's very the mole from Monaco, crime time.
Yeah, it was just like there's a point where I'm like, your character can't be this stupid. Like you would not survive.
This will be your last heist.
Yeah, and
the last heist of everyone with you.
Yeah, you don't even get that far because y'all gonna die. And then he wanted to like fight people at the gate before they went in. That's when I was like, this is not leverage. We need to like refigure what we're doing.
How does the pacing of the sneaking go with more than one thief? Because we took about 3 hours on that heist, and there were a lot of intense card plays.
Yeah, I think because when I played it years ago, it was in person, and in person everything goes like a little bit faster, and the stuff worked fine. But we also weren't too worried about we weren't keeping track of pacing stuff so much. My guess is with multiple people, splitting up is probably a lot more common. So like what you can probably we did this a little bit on we had 3 people playing when we did it a little bit. We weren't sneaking much, but we had people in different locations going through and sneaking and so it could be a thing where okay, well, so you're gonna go in, figure out your card play. Let's go over to this person. Okay, you're up here. What do you do? Okay, figure out, and then so you could do that kind of like a jumping back and forth. So it gave that person a moment to go, okay, what's gonna be the best thing to do in this moment?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I mean, so it gives because there was a lot of time where I was sitting there staring at my cards, going, "How do I make this work?" And if I'm doing that while somebody else is making their play, I can see that speeding things up a bit.
I'll say for me though, there's that tension. Like when you did that, I'm like, oh, what's he gonna do? Like as far as solo, like as far as one-on-one games of things that I have, this is probably I'm like, it's really interesting at that point from a GM's point of view to go, okay, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah. Oh my God. I just had a fascinating idea about this. Because again, I don't want to play with too many people at the table because this is such an intimate experience. But I imagine you could have a sort of community of City on the Saturnine with like expanding missions going on, and have a pool of like 3 to 5 players that, this person's doing a mission, and then you go sit down with somebody else who's doing a mission, and then they sort of pool up and share notes. So you could have more people playing in a sort of shared fiction environment, but the actual heists are very tight 2-3 people things, and like GM in 1 and 2.
Where you're coming together and going, oh, here's the other. Like that would be something you could do. Like if you had let's say 6 people, and you're all on a Discord, and the games themselves are like 1 to 2 people. But the thing is on the Discord, you could have basically a room that's like, here's everyone talking about the stuff they found out, and like, wait a minute, we found out about this. And you're like, oh wait a minute, we connect that to this stuff that we found out. This conspiracy's going on, or this other thing is happening, and you get this. You could have a really cool organic. You find stuff out from each other where you have part of the puzzle, but other people start to connect in, and you start to get this bigger thing. You might even be able to work it into this kick-ass big thing where you have multiple people doing multiple things in like a single big this is a big climax session or something, or like 1 or 2 or 3 things where you're doing the big heist.
Or 2 heists happening at the same time where one is a distraction for the other or something like that.
Oh, that would be super cool.
Okay, so I'll toss that in the hopper of things I may or may not get to during this quarantine.
Yeah. That'd be really interesting. And like I said, when I was looking, when I created those characters, I was like, all of these characters I thought were interesting in different ways. Like the thug thief, the magic thief, the face. All of these have different ways of approaching things. They kind of feel like you don't overlap a ton.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was definitely here. I was trying to make sure that, like, if I'm playing to my strengths are getting into places, getting into weird places, and then sticking around in them. And so anything that involves, like, I'm not going to clonk Bruno over the head. I'm not going to stuff the kitchen servant in the wine cellar or anything like that. And I'm not going to, like, try and fast talk. At the same time, any kind of disguise I make is not going to be leveraged with fast talking.
Yeah.
It's going to just sort of get me some cover to be where I need to be.
Yeah, when the three players, when they went downstairs, they actually, Bruno and them were awake. They actually assaulted them.
Mm-hmm.
They came down because you had the thief who's kind of the thug, and then you had someone else who was decent at it, and like he went after Ingo, the thug went after Bruno, and they took those two out, and then were able to just sort of take the stuff. Which then it was like, how much noise are you making? Does someone else hear?
Yeah, I mean, just it's 3-on-2 for now, and every guard in the house is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how things turn out on Tuesday.
Me too. Like I said, and the yeah, because like having played back through Thief a little bit of 1 until I got frustrated with the level design, and then all the way through 2, and then back into 3, like that kind of storytelling, which is a different style than I tend to with role playing games. I'm like, I just want to experiment with it. I really enjoyed the process of you going through, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, and I love the tension too. I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed things, because I was enjoying sitting there sweating, going, how much longer can I pull this off before I run out of cards, or I give you too many jokers.
Yeah, and it's like, from this point of view, it's a dungeon crawls. It's usually like, well, we go in the room. It's this thing. We have 50 million ways to handle it. How do we handle it? Which I have no interest in. But this, I was taught. I was like, okay, what are you gonna do next? Where are you gonna go? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, you were right about those aces, by the way. Being able to just dump 11 points in one card is pretty critical.
Yeah, it seems at the beginning, like take 2 of your aces, turn them into 11s. Everything else is secondary.
Yeah, then figure out what you're going to do around that.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, like, though, for you, you're going to have... and this is one of those things we'll also do is I gave you, 10 XP originally?
You gave me 10 XP on top of the 20 that the character started with.
Yeah, so what I'm going to end up doing, and I'll just make a note, for the other ones, I'm just going to go ahead and add 10 XP to those ones. So, like, the other characters will be a little more capable. Because this is one, like, the original... I mean, it would have been a little harder if you didn't have that 10 XP.
Yeah. But I would have had somebody else... I would have had somebody else's resources to work with.
Yeah. So I might go through and then bring those up and then take a look. Because this is also one of those games that feels like... To get a feel for like, how many guards is enough or how many is too many. And then I found out that, like, letting you choose, do you let them roll or do you play? Makes for something really interesting. Because it could be like, oh, I'm going to get rid of some lower cards by playing. I may build up more suspicion, but I'm a high enough stealth level that if I build up suspicion and then let them roll, I'm probably okay. Can build that, like, the thief-like tension where you're in the dark by a door and they're going to walk right in front of you, where you're just like...
Yeah. Or the situation where I was being very... very lackadaisical about the kitchen, about the cook.
Yeah.
And
She got me like 5. I'm like...
yeah, I'm like, and you ask me the third time, do you let her roll? And I'm like, no, because she's going to roll a 6.
And the funny thing
I know how this goes.
I literally just saw... I mean, it's one of those things where I just saw a thing where they're talking about... No, it doesn't mean she's going to roll higher, because that's how like actual not statistics work, but it feels like she's gotten lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yeah, she's probably not going to roll a 5 or a 6 at next time, but it goddamn feels like.
But that's what I said the previous 2 rolls too. There came a point where I'm like, all right, I need to actually take this seriously because it's getting out of hand.
You're like, so how'd you get caught? A servant. A friggin' servant saw me.
Yeah, I'd say that Jarrod and I could sit side by side with broken limbs in the tavern talking about how unfair our jobs have been, except I'm not sure I was getting out of that house, considering they seem to be sparking a revolution.
Well, thankfully for you, the people doing that are not at the house right now.
Useful.
Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that.
Sure, yeah, that was a blast.